Football fortunes are a funny thing. Down one year, up the next. After a couple of down seasons, two programs on the upswing meet today. The AustinPeay Governors come to Orlando for a bonus game against the ranked Knights of UCF. Next on ESPN3. You're watching the American Athletic Conference on ESPN. Spectrum Stadium, the setting, beautiful Orlando, Florida. They love their Knights. UCF in the rankings for the first time since 2013. They look to remain perfect against the Governors of AustinPeay. It is a Florida twist in the American Athletic in the East. USF, UCF, both perfect. Could we be heading for a Black Friday showdown? A lot of work to do before then. And a pleasant good evening. Sean Kinney alongside former Florida State national champion Forrest Conley. Great to have you with us. Today, two programs who underwent major culture change, yet they share similarities. Both have second-year coaches. Both these coaches took on programs that were winless in 2015, and both have their eyes set on a special 2017.
Well, both programs are trending upward. When you look at both coaches, they know what they want to do, and you see the response from the program, from the teams. These guys are playing very well.
One story you might be familiar with, one maybe not so much. Scott Frost has become the hottest commodity in the coaching world, and rightfully so, taking this winless program and putting them in a position maybe to be a New Year's Six squad.
Well, I like his sincerity about the program. Everybody's believing in what he and the coaching staff have brought to the table, and you see the results so far.
On the other side, a story maybe not so familiar. What a job Will Healy has done. Quite frankly, this was the worst team in Division I. They snapped a 29-game losing skid earlier this year, and now he has them in position to contend for an FCS playoff spot.
Well, Coach Healy took the job that nobody else wanted, and you see the results. This team is trending upward, and they are working towards that FCS playoff, and you got to hope and feel good about the program and where they're going.
Third all-time meeting between these two programs. The Govs have had a lot of fun here in Orlando the past couple of days. Kickoff coming up next. The UCF Knights off to their best start in program history, making their way on the Spectrum Stadium here in Orlando as they get set to take on an unfamiliar opponent in AustinPeay. This game was not on the original schedule, but when UCF lost a couple of games because of Hurricane Irma, in particular the Georgia Tech game, UCF sent the invitation out last month, and the Govs accepted. The Knights won the toss, and they want the football first. So we will see the highest scoring program in the country with the football to get the festivities started here tonight. Third all-time meeting, the first since the 1984 season. Logan Birchfield and AustinPeay, little pooch kick as he tries to keep it away from the dangerous duo for UCF, and the Knights will have good starting position. And an offense coming into this game averaging over 47 points per contest, and they have been led by a young sophomore, the 19-year-old Mackenzie Milton. You should get a good look at Will Healy in his second year, 2008 Richmond grad. The 32-year-old was the second youngest coach in all of Division I football when he was hired in December of 2015. Very personable young coach, anxious for the opportunity. Milton, the 19-year-old, has put last year's up-and-down season in the rearview mirror. He has been dynamite, 16 touchdowns, just the 3 interceptions, a dual-threat quarterback who can beat you in a number of ways.
Official spot is the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for your Knights. Starting quarterback, number 10, Mackenzie Milton. First down, UCF.
From the 34-yard line, Adrian Killens will be the running back. They bunch up the formation. Traquan Smith to the bottom. On first down, Milton to the air, and he has his favorite target, Smith, on a short gain as he hauls it in around the 40.
And these are the type of plays that UCF will need to have this afternoon. You want to get the quick passing game going. When you're playing against a 4-2-5 defense like AustinPeay brings to the table, you have to get rid of the football quickly.
On second down, they will give it to Killens over the right side. Killens driving ahead about a yard shy of the first down. Hit initially by Malik Boynton, the nickelback.
And Killens is one of our impact players. He's a definition of quick twitch. If we're even, I'm leaving. He's a shifty back that can take it to the house. And on the other side of the football, defensive end, Jason Williams, the most disruptive player for AustinPeay defense. He has the ability to make big plays and force the offense to know where he is at all times.
Second straight carry for Killens, and it's a first down for UCF. Malik Davis, the active safety, tripping him up. Killens coming off his second career 100-yard game last week in the win against Navy. Pure speed. They run the option, look to Killens, trying to get to the edge, onto the Govs side of the field, and he is knocked out of bounds hard by Cordell Jackson, but not before he picks up close to first down yardage.
And the thing I like about Killens' running style is he presses the line of scrimmage. When he gets the football, he's going north and south. There's not a lot of east and west with his running style.
Movement before the snap. This will go on UCF. Look like Jordan Johnson, the center.
Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, second down.
This is a very experienced offensive line for us, and I know watching the film you enjoyed seeing these guys and where they have come compared to last year.
Well, I like the tackles. They do a very good job of kick stepping, kipping that back foot back, and taking the 3 kick steps before they turn and run the defensive ends past the quarterback's level.
After the penalty, back at midfield, and it will be Killens, a steady dose of Adrian Killens, a sophomore from Daytona Beach, Florida. And you look at how this backfield breaks down. You have Killens and then Taj McGowan. Nobody really has seen extensive carries in a game. They have that type of balance and ball distribution.
Well, the coach has said the players know they get limited touches, so they have to make the most out of every opportunity that they get.
Another third down and short situation for the Knights. 3rd and 3. They need to get it to the 44. Milton will throw it out toward the flats. Pass is caught, but tackled immediately by Trent Taylor. Jordan Franks, the tight end, hauled it in. Terrific open field tackle by the young sophomore.
And they need better blocking in the perimeter. Number 4, Traquan Smith, has to do a better job of maintaining that block. If he makes that block, he opens up a lane for Franks to get down the field and get the first down.
Big play, maybe even so more, a big opportunity for the AustinPeay early. Milton is flush, being chased, throws on the run, and it's caught near the 32-yard line. It's the tight end Akins, and a 4th down conversion for the Knights.
And you see the escapability by Milton. He had pressure coming from the outside from Jason Williams. He gets outside of the pocket, and Akins makes himself a big target coming across the field.
UCF lined up, ready to go toward the sideline. Smith, a reverse pivot, sprints down the near side. It's a pickup of 16 more yards. Traquan Smith with his second catch on this opening drive.
And you see the playmaking ability of the receivers on the outside. You've got to make the tackle if you're the defensive back. You cannot allow these guys to get upfield because they will get big yards.
19-yard gain for First and 10.
Both running backs in. That's Killens in motion. McGowan in for the first time, and he will get the call. Little dump to the flats. McGowan with the stiff arm is ridden out of bounds.
That's number 12 with the reception, Taj McGowan.
Malik Boynton another stop, and Milton off to a hot start. His efficiency number 2 in the country, so no surprise.
And for UCF, you want to drive the ball down the field. You want to hit AustinPeay in the mouth. You want to put 7 points on the board. You want to let them know that you are for real and this is not going to be a ball game.
They whip it out to the flats again, and making the catch is Killens, trying to get him in open space.
And a good job by Malik Davis getting him down. Those are going to be the biggest plays that I look for on this defense, how they tackle in the open field.
Milton has come out and hit his first 5 passes on this opening drive. 43 yards through the air, looking at another 3rd down, 3rd and 4. Empty set. Milton looks underneath, wide open, making the catch is McGowan. And then he blew a tire as he got ready to make a move. He'll pick up the first down. Could have been 6, but McGowan went down.
And sometimes receivers get really excited when they know there's nothing but open field behind them, and I think that may have been what happened on that play.
He stays on his feet this time, untouched over the left side, and the Knights are on the board here in Orlando.
Good job by the offensive line getting movement at the point of attack. You see flat backs pushing guys backwards. That's what you want to see from your offensive lineman when you're in the red zone. The low man will win the battle, and the offensive line with the low man on that play.
Matthew Wright adds the point after. Taj McGowan with his 7th rushing touchdown of the year.
One of the keys when you're on the goal line is getting movement, and you get movement by being the first to make contact. Offensive linemen have to basically get on their fours, meaning all four, 2 hands down, and bear crawl into the end zone. If you can do that, you can uproot defenders and push them back. That's what you saw on that play. On that replay, you saw a lot of flat backs pushing guys in the red and white backwards.
Taj McGowan able to find the end zone early. He had scored a touchdown in the first 5 games. He did not find pay dirt last week in the road win at Navy, but he is in here for UCF. And the Knights with a 7-0 lead as they drive down the field on AustinPeay. And remember, the big play was that 4th down conversion. From the 6-yard line, on the return, the veteran Kyron Moore scrapes up past the 20, near the 25-yard line. What a story in the true freshman, Jeremiah Oatsvall, who is coming off his first career start last week, a huge homecoming win against Southeast Missouri State. He's thrown for over 580 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but this is the young man, when he verbally and physically committed to this program, that the recruiting trail just blew wide open for AustinPeay and allowed them to recruit the top-ranked class at the FCS level. Javon Craig started the first 5 games, but now it's Oatsvall for the 2nd straight game, getting the call, and a good gain on first down as he hits Williams out of the backfield.
And a good job by number 4, Kyron Moore, on the outside, blocking on the perimeter. That is key when you get the ball to your impact players. Kentel Williams has good make-you-miss skills in the open field. He's the team's leading rusher, and he has to have a big game for AustinPeay in the defensive line for UCF. They've done an excellent job keeping those offensive linemen off of the linebackers, allowing them to flow downhill and make plays all season.
A lot of these zone reads, option RPO types look as they go up the middle for hard yardage, and that's going to be tough treading all night long against this aforementioned UCF front line that you talked about.
Well, it's interesting, when we talked to the defensive coordinator, Eric Chinander, he said when he went into scouting report and game plan with this team, he told those guys, I can't tell you anything because these guys just move around. They have motion. They do more stuff than we've ever seen. So the team has to play gap responsibility and not worry about what you see.
Oatsvall is going to throw for the first time, being pursued, and he settles underneath, making the catch. First down yardage, barreling ahead to the 47-yard line is the tight end, Elijah Brown. A little bit of confidence for the young freshman in the biggest spotlight of his young career.
Well, I like what they're doing. They're moving Oatsvall outside of the pocket, allowing the plays to develop and giving him more time. And when you've got a quarterback that gets more time and confidence, because that's key in this ball game, how much confidence Oatsvall has when he passes the football.
Out of the pistol, Oatsvall slings it. That's nearly a lateral pass right down the line and making a couple of defenders miss. Jumping inside the 40 to the 39 goes Kyron Moore.
And you saw what Moore did on that play. He made the defender commit. Once the defender committed, then Moore was able to break it back into the inside and get positive yards. Watch more on this play. Watch how he lets the defender commit. Once he commits, now he gets to the inside and he gets positive yards. Good job by Moore on the outside.
AustinPeay talked about the importance of staying on schedule, putting together some long drives to aid their defense. DJ Montgomery in motion, second down and short. They will keep it up the middle, and a huge hole opens up for Prince Mamadou.
And watch the offensive line on this play. You see guys blocking their gaps. They're taking guys where they are going. They're not trying to redirect these players. When you look at this defensive line, they've got a 25-pound weight advantage. So for the offensive linemen to be effective, you take them where they're going as opposed to trying to direct them and let your backs cut off of you.
They love their depth in the backfield for the Governors this year. On first down, they will go back to the ground, trying to sprint to the outside and getting to the corner. Down inside the 10, staying on his feet to the 5. Touchdown, Kentel Williams. There is a flag down.
Holding. Offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Although that was a holding penalty, I'll tell you what, this is a great play by this offense. And I am shocked that Shaquem Griffin comes up and just tries to make a big hit. You've got to wrap up. These guys are game. They came here to play. They didn't come here to lay down, and you see it so far. Now, albeit they got a holding penalty and it's brought back, but that is a confidence builder for an AustinPeay ball club that many thought would not even be in this ball game.
Incredible individual effort goes for naught, and a frustrated Will Healy as his team backpedals first down.
Because Coach Healy knows the importance of that play.
Two tight ends on 1st and 20. They move the pocket. Oates ball running, still looking downfield, releases. No room to work as he overshot Garel Sumarek.
And for AustinPeay, you don't need to get it all back right now. You want to get 8 to 10 yards. Put yourselves in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 as opposed to 3rd and 20, which is what they have right now on second down.
I didn't even notice.
Williams goes in motion. He's going to make the catch, but he has a lot of work to do. Slips free from the initial wave. It's a minimal gain, falling ahead to the 35-yard line. This guy is explosive. He's the team's leading rusher. He's 6th in the country, averaging nearly 7 yards per run. So he's a guy that can make defenders look silly when trying to corral him.
Well, you saw the elusiveness on that play. Titus Davis, number 10, had an angle on him, but he was able to fake him out and get positive yards as opposed to a loss of yardage on that play.
AustinPeay on 3rd downs this year, just 37%.
Timeout. AustinPeay. Their first charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Governors with some confusion. Will Healy burns the timeout. UCF out to the early lead, but AustinPeay looking for the counter. 3rd and long when we return to Orlando.
2nd and 6, 42.
UCF out in front 7-0, but AustinPeay on the march. A touchdown nullified by a holding call, and Scott Frost hoping his defense can dial up a stop.
And what was interesting, prior to that timeout, the linebacker and the strong safety bailed.
UCF rushes 4. They're going to settle underneath, and it won't get much. Staying on his feet, still on his feet, popping out of the pile. Oh my, what a move by Williams, electrifying where he had no lanes to go. He turns it into a first down.
And you talk about slippery. UCF, you've got to wrap this guy up. You see him break 1, 2, 3 tackles right here. Then he gets to the upper middle and he stumbles forward to the first down. He was not going to go down. This is the type of fight that Coach Healy has instilled in this program, and you see why these guys are a contender for an FCS playoff berth, because they will not give up on a play.
Williams was shaken up along with Tristan Hill for UCF. Hill slow to get up. Williams trying to stretch out after that great run. AustinPeay in the red zone when we come back. Exceptional individual effort by that young man. Quintel Williams has kept the AustinPeay drive alive. On 3rd and 18, he runs through the UCF defense on a 20-yard gain, and it was all Williams. And just moments after having a electrifying touchdown run nullified by a holding call, he gets his revenge. And here come the Govs. 1st down and 10 at the 16th. Montgomery in motion, straight up the middle with Tanner, and he is picked up and tripped down.
Number 21.
Quick hitting play as he was spun down by A.J. Wooten.
And one thing that I've seen so far are the backs from AustinPeay. They don't wait around. They get the ball and they press the line of scrimmage. They get it and go. And I like that about this offense. They're playing very aggressive.
Red zone production this year for AustinPeay. Remember, this is the 3rd FBS opponent they played this year. They lost to Cincinnati in week 1, then lost to Miami of Ohio. They go empty set. They'll put Williams as a receiver. Oatsball on a draw all the way, has nowhere to go. No lane opened up by the stingy UCF defense. Jasinski coming off a career-high 14-tackle game last week, the first one to sniff out the play.
And although they did not get big yards, they went from it being 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 1. That's a big difference.
AustinPeay looking at 3rd and a long yard. Goulbourne, the JUCO transfer, the receiver left. In motion is Tanner. He goes to the boundary side. Oatsville juggled the snap a little bit, hands it off. Williams, 2nd and 3rd effort, and he did not get there. And young Will Healy faced with an early decision. What do you think, Forrest? 4th and a yard on the road, a heavy underdog.
Well, great job by the defense getting penetration. Number 54, A.J. Wooten, pushed the offensive lineman back. But if I'm Coach Healy, you have nothing to lose. I say you go for it. You don't know how often you're going to get inside the red zone. You only need 1 yard, so you don't have to get the touchdown. You just want to get the 1 yard and get the 1st down and give yourselves 4 more plays.
Javon Craig is checked in as the quarterback as they try to move this talented D-line. Craig will hand it off. 2nd effort by Tanner into the end zone for the touchdown. Ahmad Tanner and Will Healy and these Govs believing early.
Well, right now it looks like UCF is sleepwalking because the effort is being given by AustinPeay. You see breaking tackles, running through arm tackles. They will not be denied. First Williams, now Tanner. A great job by this offense.
Logan Birchfield adds the point after. Yards after contact, the key stat for AustinPeay. It's Ahmad Tanner and the Govs punching in the equalizer. AustinPeay knew coming into this game that they had to control the time of possession. They had to put together some long drives and keep this high-powered UCF offense off the field. Mission accomplished after that first series. 12 plays, 75 yards, but most importantly, 6 minutes, 41 seconds off the clock.
Well, the best defense for AustinPeay is their offense and how long they can possess the football, and you see it right there. You want to keep this high-scoring UCF offense off of the field as much as possible.
After a pooch kick the first time, they will send it to Hughes, and he is in the open. See you later. They're not going to catch him. Did we say explosion? Bang, UCF.
And you talk about breaking momentum. Mike Hughes never broke stride on this play. You see him right here. He makes one cut right there, and he's gone. He never broke stride. He saw the lane, and he got going. And if we're even, I'm leaving. You're not going to catch him in the open field.
He has been such a playmaker in his limited time on campus here at UCF. Remember, he arrived only 8 days before the first game. He fit right in the secondary. He's come close on some kicks and punts earlier this year. For the first time, he finds the space, 90 yards on the return.
And the coaching staff talked about him coming in with no expectations, but once they saw him on the field in practice that first week, they knew they had to find a place for him to play because he was a starter. And you see Hughes on this play make a big play for a UCF ball club that was kind of down on themselves after that drive. And Birchfield knew he was probably the last man standing to try and make a play on Hughes, if not to make the tackle, slow him down, and he wasn't able to. Great job by Hughes, and now the energy is back on the UCF sideline. Because I tell you what, Sean, after AustinPeay drove down the field the way that they did, you saw some heads being held low on the UCF sideline like, really? Did this just really occur?
On the return, Kyron Moore trying to reverse direction, and boy, he is belted. Special teams hit coming from Collier. Let's go back to that last drive for AustinPeay.
Well, it was a heavy dose of Williams and Tanner. Kentel Williams right here getting to the end zone. I thought Griffin did a poor job of wrapping up on that play, but this is the biggest play so far of the ball game right here. He was a spinning top. He broke several tackles. He stumbled to get the first down. You see, and then here you go. Ahmad Tanner, the in-between the tackles running back with power. Refuses to be denied and gets to the end zone for the touchdown for AustinPeay. They're in this ball game.
See if that return by Hughes fires up the night defense. Drive number 2 for the Governors. Moore goes in motion. He'll join the backfield on first down, lowering the pads and hitting Tristan Hill, and going straight down as the former Illini transfer, Trey Nation.
Well, Tristan Hill is the epitome of a zero technique. 6'2", 330 pounds. You think of Ted Washington. You think of Haloti Ngata. Those big guys that just gobble up both A-gaps. They're not going to make a whole bunch of tackles, but they're not going to allow those guards to get up to the second level and block those linebackers. So his job is to just be big right there in the middle of the defense.
Hill, who played last year more on the edge with Pittman patrolling that zero technique. Those two flipped this year, and it's been solid. Giving ground and tracked down in the backfield for a loss. Shaquem Griffin making his statement.
And I tell you what, Shaquem Griffin is one of the most impressive players that I've ever seen in college football. He doesn't allow, not having one hand to affect his ability to be a playmaker on the field. I love this kid and what he brings to the table and the motivation that he gives other kids that may have some difficulties dealing with, some birth defects or whatnot, and going out and making plays. He's a special player for this UCF defense.
3rd down and 10. Here they come. Griffin putting on the heat. Oatsvold had nowhere to go. He heard the footsteps. The American Athletic Conference Defensive Player of the Year had his sights set on the quarterback.
And you see his ability to get up the field. They did not even have time to react. Once again, he is a special player. He doesn't have as many sacks as he had last season, but you see the playmaking ability on the outside when he rushes the passer.
Finished last year with 11.5 sacks out of St. Pete's, Florida. Big brother Shaquille graduated last year. On the short punt, can Hughes work his magic again? He will push on to the AustinPeay side. And a momentum change here in Orlando, all going back to that kick return by Hughes. Don't forget, coming up tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC or ESPN2, it's Georgia Tech taking on number 7 Clemson. Texas Tech squaring off against 10th-ranked Oklahoma. Check local listings for the game in your area or watch them both by using our ESPN app. Sooners and Red Raiders. Clemson with their first test after getting knocked off by Syracuse. Good football coming up tonight. Speaking of good football, UCF right back to work. Milton stays perfect. Smith has his 3rd catch. Forward progress up to the 42.
Pass on the far side. Trayvon Smith with reception. And stop. Number 9, Trent Taylor.
327 yards of total offense. 9th in the country for the second-year starter. He took over the job midway through the season last year, had his bumps and bruises along the way. Look at the improv as he flips a little shovel to the tight end Akins. Ditsy-do right there from the Hawaiian.
And those are the type of plays that hurt defenses. You scheme that play perfectly. You've got pressure on Milton. You want to get him down, and he improvs like that, and they get a first down. He not only improvs, but they get a first down out of the play.
They go right back to work, making the catch along the near side is Marlon Williams. They don't look to Williams a lot, just his 5th catch, but that's one thing Milton has done with this offense. He has hit 13 different wide receivers in that personnel group.
Well, I like that because you keep everybody involved and engaged in the game. They know at any time they can get the play coming towards their way.
They pick up the pace, dumping it out to Dredrick Snelson, and he is tackled immediately. Nice job that time. Sticking it out was Jeremiah Mitchell for AustinPeay.
If you watch UCF, they're lining up on the football. It's not really a fast-paced offense, but they're lining up. They're not allowing AustinPeay to make substitutions.
Sean Whittinghill, one of the defensive ends, trying to rush in. No luck. Milton with all sorts of time, throws a BB. Smith makes the diving catch. 1st and goal, UCF.
And a great job by Milton on the ball fake. He went through his progressions. He put the football where only his player could make a play on it.
First quarter clock will expire, and 18th-ranked UCF with the lead after 1 here in Orlando. The Knights in this high-powered offense ready to roll. Taj McGowan with the early blow. Williams on the counter. UCF by 7. Scott Frost watching his UCF Knights post a 14-7 lead. The 42-year-old has certainly changed the culture around this campus with a youthful energy that makes it fun to be around. The former Nebraska quarterback and Mark Helfrich, Chip Kelly assistant at Oregon, has the Knights in the top 25, and they are believing. And he has a quarterback in Mackenzie Milton who has been sensational this year, and that has continued tonight. 12 of 12. In that first quarter, they go to the ground with some power football, and McGowan stretching ahead. Touchdown, UCF. McGowan has number 2.
McGowan does a good job of keeping his feet churning once he makes contact with the defender. Right here, boom. He makes contact with the defender, Darren Hodges, but he continues to keep his feet grinding and churning to get that ball across the goal line.
When I say go, you do your thing until I say stop.
A short scoring drive for the Knights. They take advantage of the return by Hughes on the punt. Matthew Wright with the point after, and there's been a lot to clap about when watching this UCF team this year. Taj McGowan with a couple of rushing touchdowns in this first half. Knights up the ante in Orlando. Taj McGowan with a couple of rushing touchdowns. Mike Hughes has a 90-yard kick for 6, and UCF with the momentum. The Knights on top of AustinPeay by a score of 21-7. And now, Forrest, if you're this AustinPeay squad, you're in a very dangerous situation.
Well, you've got to speed the game up, meaning you've got to run the football, take your time. I think they need to get back to what they did on the first drive. which is establish the run as opposed to trying to pass the ball and get going north and south. When they're passing the football, they're going east and west. And with the speed of this UCF defense, you've got to be north and south because pursuit will get there quickly.
The offensive unit getting set for their third drive of the night. They were really good on that opening drive. They marched it down the field, 12 plays, 75 yards, but then a 3-and-out. That allowed the UCF offense to get the ball right back and take care of business. So now Jeremiah Oatsfall goes to work from the 21-yard line. He's forced to dump it, and the pass is deflected in the air, incomplete.
And a good job by the free safety, Kyle Wilson, coming on the blitz from the outside. Oatsfall has to see that and get rid of the football or go with the pump fake and step under the defender, because when you make the pump fake, he's going to jump up to knock the ball down.
A couple of first-year starters in the safety positions with Kyle Gibson and Trey Neal. Remember, they lost 4 experienced secondary players last year with Griffin, DJ Killings, Draco Johnson, and TJ Musterson. Stretch play, and look at the pursuit defense off the backside. Mitchell chasing down the runner, and force what we were just talking about, 3rd and long.
Well, you see the speed of the defense when the outside linebacker can chase the running back down from the backside. That lets you know how fast this defense is. You've got to hit it hard and fast north and south. You can't run stretch plays on this defense.
Third down and 10. They set up the tunnel screen. Making the catches Moore, and he's into the open space. Moore to midfield. A foot race to the 30. Kyron Moore to the 20, 10, and he's tripped up. A touchdown saving tackle. But a perfectly designed play goes for big yards.
And this is exactly what you do against an over-aggressive defense. Great job by the offensive lineman, number 69. Evolt had a key block on that play to spring Moore, and he ran out of gas. A good job by Mike Hughes to come from across the field and run him down.
An injury for UCF, and it's Hughes who made that tackle. He is down, being attended to.
And what a play by Hughes to run Moore down from the opposite side of the field. This is why coaches always tell players never give up on a play. If they're able to get a stop, that will be one of the biggest plays so far for this defense. But you see right here, Moore's in the open field, and he's giving it everything that he's got. Now watch, you'll see number 19 coming to the screen right about now, right there. And it looked like he may have just come down wrong on that play. Let's hope it's not a serious injury that he can get back into the ball game. But a great job by Hughes, never giving up on that play and coming from the other side of the field to make a touchdown saving tackle.
74 yards to Kyron Moore, the team's leading receiver. He was an all-purpose machine last year. Big round of applause for Hughes. He's able to walk off on his own power, and he is a key cog not only on the defensive side of the football, but in that special teams game and the return game for UCF, as we've already seen here tonight. But the big play has AustinPeay in business. On 1st and goal, it's Tanner straight up the gut, diving ahead, 2nd and 3rd effort. Ball might have popped out late. They're going to say just shy of the goal line, 2nd and goal for the Governors. Boy, a real lengthy discussion. There was the side judge rushing in, say just shy of the goal line, and then the other came in indicating a late touchdown, and now the discussion ensues with our crew here tonight.
And regardless if it's a touchdown or not, I'm impressed by this AustinPeay offensive line and the offense as a whole to line up on the 5-yard line and run it straight at this UCF defense. No fear whatsoever from this ball club. Right here, they go right at the defense. You see offensive linemen pushing guys back from UCF. Now let's see if he's able to cross the goal line.
Oh, that ball popped free. You see the ball being bounced around. Tanner lost it.
And number 87 recovered it, Michael Hoover, and I think he's in the end zone. Well, he had possession of it, but then it got knocked out of his hands. Let's see right here. Tanner gets through. Ball comes out. Now watch 87. He's got possession of it right there. He gets popped.
And then he lost the ball,
An offensive lineman covers it up, but the ball is across the plane. That's the key. The ball is across the plane. Number 75 recovers the football, Ryan Rockensous, and the ball is over the plane. I think this is going to be called a touchdown. And Coach Frost cannot be happy so far with this defense's play.
We're putting him short.
I don't know if the official wanted to have his mic on.
The ruling on the field is the runner's knee was down prior to the ball coming loose. The ball will be placed at the 6-inch line. Second down.
So they're saying there was never a fumble.
That's interesting. From the view that we had, it looked like it was a fumble.
So AustinPeay will have it. The Governors with 2nd and goal. That nose of the football.
Previous play is under review.
Well, now they're going to take a look. And
I don't think the knee was down. Look here, let's watch the knee. The knee isn't down. The ball is out right there. And see, he's on his back. So for them to say the knee was down, and I tell you what, Michael Hoover took a shot. I think that's Titus Davis, number 10, who delivers a shot to Michael Hoover. You see Titus Davis looking around. Now the ball comes out, and I see, watch him come over there. Number 10, boom. Michael Hoover never knew what hit him, and the ball goes into the end zone, and it's recovered by Ryan Rockensous.
it was Burkett who stripped the ball. See number 2 reaching in, prying the ball free. A heads up, Hoover picks it up. Davis then delivers a jolt. Hoover then lost it. Jumped on by Rockensous, the starting left guard. If that's a hockey play, there's a couple of helpers in there.
And I tell you what, you got to hope. I'm a former offensive lineman, so for Rockensous, I hope he gets the touchdown. That'll be the highlight of his, blocking career.
You guys dream about that at night, don't you?
Well, to be an offensive guard and score a touchdown against a top 20 ball club. But look at the movement by the offensive line. That's the first thing. They're staying engaged on the defensive lineman. And Tanner, right, because he's twisting, I don't see the knee down. I think the ball is a live ball. And I think it's going to be a touchdown. I just see touchdown for Rockensous.
Well, we're about to find out after they take a second look.
After review, the runner was not down. The ball was fumbled into the end zone, recovered by the offensive lineman. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Ryan Rockensous, sleep well tonight, buddy. You got your 6 and a big smile from Will Healy.
And you see the UCF fans are shocked right now about what's happening against their defense. Outside of that second drive where I thought AustinPeay got away from what they do, they've been able to move the ball effectively against this UCF defense.
A 74-yard screen to Moore, set it all up, and the point after is blocked. Birchfield has the kick blocked. Will Healy in this offense trying to keep up with UCF. Knights lead it by 8 early in the second quarter.
All ESPN coverage is streaming live on the ESPN app. Download now and take ESPN everywhere.
Both of these young coaches inherited messes at their respective universities. Both teams winless in 2015. Scott Frost has UCF into the top 20. The Knights playing solid football, and Will Healy on the left. Nobody expected this from AustinPeay this year. Entering this season, 27 consecutive losses. That was the nation longest active streak. They snapped that after their first 2 games this year. And now sitting 4-1 in the Ohio Valley, and an onside kick, and they can't track it down as the ball goes out of bounds. Oh man, they came here to Orlando to have some fun, play loose, and they're doing that in this first half.
Well, it all started with the Disney trip, and you see these guys are just enjoying themselves and having a really good time.
Go back to this last scoring drive for AustinPeay, and it was the 3rd and long, and the screen to their playmaker, Kieran Moore.
And they've made big plays throughout the afternoon on 3rd downs. And Tanner right here powering through. Although he fumbles the football, it's recovered by the left guard, Ryan Rockensus. But one thing that I've seen throughout this afternoon is a lot of broken tackles. About 15 broken tackles so far by the rushing attack of AustinPeay.
So the onside kick will give UCF the football in great real estate at the AustinPeay 45-yard line. Franks, the tight end, in motion on 1st down. They will run to the boundary side. It's Cordarian Richardson, the big bruiser, the former Mr. Tennessee all-football performer. He's a 250-pound body, the freshman from Memphis.
And he is a load to bring down. And when you talk about a guy that big that can run a 10-600, when he gets going downhill, I don't think anybody wants to step in front of him.
Run that fake dive and then go with the option, and getting to the corner is Richardson, and he just barrels into a couple of defenders. This was a guy the coaches told us about in the meetings yesterday, somebody that's working his way up, and he was going to get some key calls as we move into the month of November. A lot of confidence being built in him.
And with this size, he reminds me of a back that I played with named Pooh Bear Williams. One of those big guys that has a lot of speed and can knock defenders over.
3rd straight carry for Richardson, and I like what Scott Frost and Troy Walters are doing on this offensive drive. That's playing physical football, letting their offensive line initiate the contact, and then letting the big bulldozer get the job done. Nothing fancy about this. 2nd down and 4. Milton's going to throw, trying to stay perfect, in and out of the hands of Akins. But here comes the flag. Malik Davis with some contact prematurely.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Pass interference, defense, number 1. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 90. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, 1st down.
That's the Ohio Valley Conference sack leader with 8.5 sacks this season. Jason Williams getting there a little late.
And Milton does a good job of standing tall in the pocket.
Roughing the passer is declined. Pass interference is accepted. 15 yards, 1st down.
And Williams has to understand you can't take a free shot on the quarterback. Milton had released the football on that play. I know you're anxious to get to the quarterback and make a play, but you've got to pull up when you see the quarterback without the ball in his hands.
Williams is only a sophomore. He's grown into the leadership role of that defense. Tremendous talent for AustinPeay. 1st down and goal, UCF. They will go up the middle with Richardson, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go.
And a good job by Jeremiah Mitchell navigating through all of the scrum and finding the back and getting his arms around his legs and getting him down. You don't want to go running in high when you've got Cordarian Richardson with the football.
Davis and Smith, the 2 receivers to the top. Milton looked that direction initially, comes back near side. He hits Richardson out of the backfield. Again, it's Mitchell shadowing the big back, and it will be 3rd and goal.
And I expect them to line up and hand the ball to Richardson on this play and let him power his way towards the end zone.
And that's what they do, but AustinPeay was ready, and they say, The team's top tackler, middle linebacker Gunnar Shalato, met him in the hole and delivered the boom.
And a good job by Joel Pace to stay on the offensive lineman, number 71. You watch him break in and find a gap and get in there and allow Shalato to get around him to make the tackle.
Former walk-on who was second in the country last year in tackles in Shalato.
20-yard attempt.
More than a chip shot for Matthew Wright, 6 of 8 on the season. Officially, 20 yards, kick on the way, and it is good. It's a moral victory for Will Healy's Govs. They hold UCF to 3. The Knights, in the meantime, extend the lead early on, second quarter. Familiar side here in Orlando. Some rain clouds starting to circle in from the west. We are anticipating some showers to reach the Orlando area here on the east side in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Hopefully nothing along these severe lines with lightning, but some showers and some rain anticipated as we move into the evening hours. Spectrum Stadium, entertaining first half. AustinPeay trailing 24-13. On the return, this is Moore, and he is cut down shy of the 20. Excellent special teams play made by Tristan Payton, the junior wide receiver. First one down.
I'll tell you what, Sean, what should not be overlooked is this UCF defense played against that triple option offense of Navy last week. And that usually takes a lot out of a defense, you know, defensing that type of offense. And this was supposed to be an off week for those guys, which teams usually want to have because you've got to get back to base defense after playing that triple option.
Such a discipline-heavy type of D when you face that option look. First down, nowhere to go for AustinPeay. Jasinski and Jemias Pittman able to bring down the elusive running back.
And we talked to Coach Frost about that, and he talked about the team being beat up, no real serious injuries, but some nicks and knacks, and they tailed back their practice this week. They did a lot of walkthrough to allow those guys to heal a little bit.
Yeah, both these teams really had the luxury of relaxed practices as far as contact goes. AustinPeay did not even practice Thursday. Second down and 11. They'll run the jet sweep, trying to get to the outside for the first time. The ball is loose, picked up by Griffin, and he will go in for the UCF 6.
I tell you what, he's one of the more special players in college football with his ability to always be Johnny on the spot. You see him on the inside right there, but because he's pursuing the play, which a lot of defenders don't do, he's able to be there to scoop the ball up and get to the end zone. And I love the lean as he crosses the goal line.
It was Jasinski's hit who jarred the ball free, and the opportunistic Shaquem Griffin. He's an impact player. The American Athletic Defensive Player of the Year a season ago. And the fumble return for 6, and UCF back in control.
And coaches always talk about pursuing the football. If he's not pursuing the football, he's not there to make that play. Albeit Trey Neal would have scooped it up and scored, but a good job by Griffin never giving up. He saw the jet sweep coming to the outside, and he sprinted across and is able to get the touchdown.
Some twin brother love here in Orlando the past few seasons. His brother Shaquille, who graduated from UCF, was a third-round draft pick for Seattle. The two 22-year-olds were separated in August. And Shaquille reported to Seattle, and this is the first year that those two aren't on the same team. You can go all the way back to their youth football days with the Gibbs Gladiators, to Lakewood High School, to UCF.
And I tell you what, I think they'll both be playing in the same league next year.
I agree.
Maybe not the same team, but they'll be in the same league.
This place lit up now, and AustinPeay will wisely take a knee, and the Govs in their largest hole of this first half, trailing by 18. The ESPN app is a fan's best friend. Stream every ESPN and ABC college football game live at home or on the go. You'll get access to scores, news, and highlights all season long. Download the ESPN app to start streaming right now. A fumble and scoop by Shaquem Griffin as UCF out to their largest lead in this first half.
Now for AustinPeay,
excuse me, Forrest.
No, go ahead.
Nope, go right.
Well, for AustinPeay, they've got to not allow what has happened to affect their play calling. Do what you've done early in the ball game, what you've had success with.
Moore goes in motion on first down. They will give it to Williams. So just as you described it, it's actually Trey Nation who gets the call. Nation, hard yardage up the middle, and they have had some success over the guards in this first half.
Well, when you look at the defensive line for UCF, these are guys that were cut every play basically last week against Navy. So they've got tired legs, and that's where you want to run the football, down the gut of that defense and challenge them.
Houston putting up a fight with USF. They're tied early in the third quarter. Second down give is right back to Nation. Titus Davis rips him down. Third and short for AustinPeay.
And this is a critical third down for AustinPeay. They need to get a first down. Even if they don't get a score on this drive, you want to take some time off the clock. You want to keep your defense off the field. The best defense for AustinPeay is their offense staying on the field.
Play clock to 10. Oatsball sends Nation out of the backfield. It's a draw all the way. And diving ahead for first down yardage is Jeremiah Oatsball.
And a good play call by AustinPeay. They went with an empty backfield, spread the defense out, and went with the quarterback draw.
There is an injured Gov on the field as Oatsball heads to the sideline to do some chatting. It's like one of the linemen down for AustinPeay. This offense has put up big numbers this year. You go back to their previous two FBS games. They lost to Cincinnati 26-14. They actually outgained Cincy in that loss. Came back the next week, lost to Miami of Ohio 31-10. They put up 69 on Morehead State to snap the nation's longest active losing skid, and they've reeled off some key Ohio Valley Conference wins. Their only setback was to a top 5 FCS program in Jacksonville State.
Well, most FBS programs don't want to play Jacksonville State, so that's nothing to be embarrassed or disappointed. I mean, you're going to be disappointed because you want to win every ball game, but when you look at that game and you look at this team and the progress that they've made so far, you know, you have to take your hats off to Coach Healy and his staff, because what we talked about is these guys are believing in what they bring to the table, and you see the results. I think in this ball game, they come out of here win or lose with a lot of confidence because they played toe-to-toe, head-to-head with one of the toughest teams in the country in the first quarter.
The touchdown machine, Ryan Rockensus, was the injured lineman. He was helped up by his coach, and let's hope he is all right. And that's the biggest fear in a game like this. You know, you're AustinPeay, you're fighting for a possible FCS playoff, which will be a huge milestone for your program, the risk of an injury, and that's the risk you take adding that 13th game.
Well, remember Coach Healy told us, he said he didn't know if it was a good decision to take this game or not. He'll let us know after the game.
First down and 10, change of direction by Nation, but good pursuit defense. Titus Davis, Jasinski, the first two in.
And although they made the tackle at the line of scrimmage, you continue to see these backs fight for every yard that they can possibly get.
Jasinski's been a great surprise for this defense this year. He's led the team in tackles in 4 of 6 games this year. Quick screen, they get it out to D'Angelo Wilson, makes a move up past the 40 to the 43-yard line. Jeremiah Oatsball with the completion, setting up a third down for AustinPeay, and they've been pretty good on third downs tonight.
And the thing that they've done good is make plays in the open field. Oatsball has gotten the ball to his playmakers, and they've done a good job for him when they get possession of the football.
3rd and 2. The Govs 3 for 5 in this first half. Here comes a blitz up the middle. Same play they called earlier in this drive, and it's first down yardage, a protected slide as Oatsville went down, and here comes a flag. Gibson, the safety, delivered a shot to the head of the quarterback as he went into protective mode.
And a good job by the guard to pick up number 2, Shaquan Burkett, on the blitz, which allowed Oatsville to get up the field.
See that elbow to the head of the true freshman, and that will get 15 every time.
You cannot hit above the shoulder pads. But this play all started with the offensive lineman recognizing the blitz coming from Shaquan Burkett and getting a key block, allowing Oatsville to react.
The ruling on the field is a personal foul targeting defense number 25. The previous play is under review.
So with the targeting call, they will take a look upstairs, and the anger with Scott Frost right now for UCF.
Well, I think what Coach Frost is saying is that Kyle Gibson's coming in, and he's kind of trying to pull up. It didn't look like he came with intent with that elbow to the head of Oatsville. It's a judgment call.
After review, the ruling on the field of targeting is confirmed. By rule, number 25 has been disqualified.
So Gibson is done for the night. Now, if you're UCF, the only good news is he won't have to sit out the first half of next game since it happened here in the first half. But he is lost in that back end of the secondary.
And I understand the call, but I also understand Coach Frost's frustration, and you see the result. He's got a sideline penalty to go along with.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the head coach of UCF. It's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down. That's the head coach's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
So you're talking about a 35-yard play here. And I understand Coach Frost.
UCF.
I understand Coach Frost's frustration on this play because Gibson is coming to make a play, and it didn't look like he intently went for Oatsville's head. But when a quarterback is sliding, these are types of things that happen.
Frost upset. He was upset from the get-go. He just kept pouring it on. And the unsportsmanlike penalty was tossed. And those last few words, and they could not get the flag out quick enough. So Gibson heads to the locker room. He is done. The safety, the starting safety, the redshirt junior, is done. So guys like Richie Grant, Collier are going to have to step up the rest of the way for this defense.
And Gibson is the best defensive back in run support for this ball club. So will he be a key loss is yet to be seen. But now you've got to depend on your defense to step it up a notch from the defensive line and make plays. And you see Griffin trying to pump the crowd up, get himself pumped up. I think he's going to be a key player the rest of this ball game like he's already been early.
Ahmad Tanner is the running back. He flanks Oatsville to the left. It will be Tanner who gets the call up the middle. 3-4 hard-fought yards. And that last sequence of events has maybe awoken a sleeping giant, in this case a sleeping knight, here in this UCF defense.
Well, let's see what kind of energy they come with. If they can stop AustinPeay and hold them to a field goal attempt, I think this is a win for the defense.
AustinPeay offense does not back down. It's been a gutsy first half performance from the true freshman, making just his second career start, Jeremiah Oatsville. 2nd and 8. And a timeout called just before the snap by AustinPeay.
Prior to the snap, Timeout, AustinPeay. It's their second timeout of the half, 30-second timeout.
So the timeout by AustinPeay, trailing by 18, and some big calls midway through this second quarter. The AP Top 10 Week 9 edition. Alabama enjoying the weekend off. Penn State and Ohio State colliding tonight. How about Georgia just thrashing Florida? TCU having a tough time in Ames with Iowa State. Wisconsin, strong defense, strong running game. They beat the Fighting Illini today 24-10.
Well, Georgia's making a statement. This is a ball club that has played well throughout. This is the one ball club in the SEC that everybody thinks can challenge the mighty and powerful Alabama Crimson Tide. And Notre Dame, after that 1-point loss to Georgia, they've kind of gotten it back together. Coach Kelly has found a great ingredient with that offense, and they've been scoring the football and doing very well in South Bend.
First college football playoff rankings due out Tuesday night. We're going to have Big Flo next to me give us his top 10 a little bit later on in this broadcast. Second down and 8 inside the red zone. They fake the jet sweep. Oatsball is going to keep it, tries to dodge a missile as he lunges to the 15. And all of a sudden, this game getting a little chirpy. You see the linemen exchanging some pleasantries, and it's picked up an emotion the last couple of minutes.
Yes, number 73, Charles Mosley, had something to say to the defensive line. And I like it when an offensive lineman talks. You know, you're the tough guys out there. You're the position that has someone to hit on every single play. The only position on the field that's designed for you to hit someone on every play. So I love the intensity from this ball club. They're letting this UCF defense know we're not scared. We came here to play, and we came here to possibly win.
A couple of former SEC guys on that offensive line. They fake the pitch. Oatsball is going to keep it, and he'll be cut down shy of the first down. Wrapped up at the 11, about 2 yards shy of the first down.
And check out the offensive lineman. A good job on the tandem block by number 64. He's able to get to the second level. Levi Seabolt, he's in the game for the injured Rockin' Suits. He's able to double team on that tandem block, get up to the second level, get a hat on the linebacker, which allows Oatsball to get up the field. That's key for these guards. Can they get up to the second level and block these linebackers? The defensive line, this three-man front, has to do a better job of maintaining their blocks and not allowing these offensive linemen to escape and get to the second level.
Will Healy needs 6, not 3. Easy decision here. Oatsball to throw, back foot toward the front of the end zone, tipped in the air and caught. Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Governors. Oh my.
And they just played tip drill out here with the football. I thought Oatsball was going to go underneath to his tight end. He had the tight end, Michael Hoover, in the flat, but he went over the top to his receiver. Excuse me, not Michael Hoover, but Trey Pruitt, number 18, underneath. But Pruitt ended up making the play anyway. Johnny on the spot. I tell you what, boy. The balls have went the way of this AustinPeay ball club this afternoon. Some tip balls. I tell you what, they are a game team. They came here to play.
Trey Pruitt on the deflection with the 6. Pruitt, one of those guys who was part of that terrific recruiting class this year.
Now you see Pruitt underneath. I thought he was going to go to Pruitt, but a good job because the defensive back had a play to come and get that INT, but Pruitt stays with it and watches the ball bounce off Kyron Moore's hands, and he's able to get possession of it and get his feet down. And you see Oatsball. Great job by this offense continuing to stay with it.
Pruitt, one of those guys in the 2017 recruiting class, he was getting pitched heavily by Tennessee Tech, and all indications he was going to go to Tech. In fact, on his recruiting visit to AustinPeay, Tech had just destroyed the Governors 41-7. His high school coach went to Tennessee Tech, but then when he found out that Jeremiah Oatsball had committed to this AustinPeay program, all of a sudden he decided to be a part of this and try to make this 2017 recruiting class the class that turned around this program.
And you see both of these true freshmen got their first start last week, and you see the team starting to reap the benefits of these two kids signing with this program.
Saw Mike Hughes back on the field. They kick it away from him as UCF on the return. A late flag thrown in. Looked like maybe a face mask. So what a first half. 51 points put on the board by these two.
Return down to the 40. Return man was number 27, Richie Grant.
During the return, personal foul, targeting. Kicking team, number 21. Previous play is under review.
Our second targeting call here in this second quarter. So they will go upstairs to take a look. Scott Frost has cooled down after the initial targeting call that saw his safety Kyle Gibson get disqualified, and now on the return.
I don't see it on that play. Let's see.
See Prince Mamadou, number 20, leaning with that helmet. That's Mamadou, who came in on the special teams coverage.
Did he make contact? It almost looked like he grazed the ball carrier and didn't make direct contact on that play. I don't think that's a targeting penalty. I think they're going to pull that flag up because it looks like the crown of his helmet hit the shoulder pads of the ball carrier as opposed to the head and the helmet. It hit the back of the ball carrier.
Mamadou, a young man who was given a scholarship, a walk-on athlete to this program, given a scholarship back in August. High energy guy. Right here is what they're taking a look at.
From my point of view, he hit the back of the shoulder pads.
After review, the ruling on the field of targeting is taken off. There is no foul for targeting.
And that's a good job by the officials to take the time and go back and look. The fans have to understand the officials' job is to protect the players and preserve the game. So they have to go through their due process. But a good job by the officials determining that that was not a targeting penalty.
From the 40-yard line, Milton to the air, settling underneath, making the catch is Snelson. He'll pick up 9 yards, knocked out of bounds by Wantarius Bryant. This becomes a critical drive for UCF to go back up comfortably, and equally important for AustinPeay. And can this defense find a way to get a stop or a turnover?
Well, if the defense can get a stop, they come out and they get the ball to start the second half.
Milton for the first time is going to take a shot. Snelson has a step, and it's knocked away at the last second. Milton had him. Snelson had a good step and a half.
But DeKevis Perry, number 5, does a good job. He turns around, he locates the football, and he knocks it down. A great job by Perry, not to run through the receiver, not to react because he was beaten, but look back and locate the football.
Some late shifting by the inside of the defense on 3rd and short, and I don't know. This is going to be really close. Corey Brown, the transfer, plugged the hole, and this will be all dependent on the spot.
And you see what AustinPeay is doing. They want to get a lot of pre-snap movement to get the attentions of the linebackers so they don't flow downhill. If you can grab their attention for a split second, it allows you to get out the field and get that first down.
It is short, 4th and less than a yard. UCF lined up, ready to go. They will hand the ball off in a big hole over the left side for McCray. First down yardage on his first touch, and UCF converts. Now 2 for 2 on 4th downs in this first half.
And because they were in their goal line defense, everything was compressed inside the box. So once McCray got outside the tackle box, it was open season.
Quick snap, they go right back to work, working laterally with the speedster McCray. He's hit around the waist, catapults forward. Last 3 or 4 yards with his back facing upfield. Greg McCray, true freshman, Miramar, Florida. Real versatile athlete. He is completely opposite of the big back in Richardson, so they have a couple of varieties to use to back up McGowan and Killens. Wide open, broken assignment in the secondary. Cam Stewart stretches for the pylon, but they say stepped out at the 4. 33 yards as Stewart was all by his lonesome.
And a good job by Milton to recognize what the defense was doing and find his receiver. You see him go through his progressions. He looked over and he saw his receiver wide open.
UCF ready to go. It's McCray trying to sniff out a little crevice on the right side. No luck. Gang pile tackling by Will Healy's Govs. 2nd and goal. This is the part of the field where UCF was stuffed on their last drive and they had to settle for 3.
And this is where you challenge your offensive lineman. You've got a 60-pound weight difference.
2nd down and goal. They will stay with the quarterback keeper. Milton for the first time using his feet. Touchdown Knights. This kid plays like a senior, doesn't he?
Absolutely. He knows where to go. He's very smart. And he does a good job of reading and taking what the defense gives him.
–
60-yard drive, 8 plays, little more than 2.5 minutes off the clock, and UCF has put up 38 in this first half. We shouldn't be surprised.
We see the cameraman go with the fake dive, and that's a great ball fake. But a key to this play was the block on the outside by number 11, Cam Stewart. He did a good job of blocking the defensive back so he could not disengage and try and make a play on Milton and prevent him from getting to the end zone.
A lot of talk the last couple of weeks with Scott Frost and his name popping up for the job he has done with this program. And you know, you just go back to his playing days, and he had the chance to play for legendary coach Bill Walsh. He started his career at Stanford before transferring to Nebraska and then playing for Mr. Class himself, Tom Osborne, a college football Hall of Famer. He won a national championship with the Huskers. Then he spent some time in Oregon under the guidance of Chip Kelly. Mark Helfrich, a wealth of experience at the young age of 42.
Well, the mind of Bill Walsh and what he brings to the table. And then Tom Osborne. I mean, just those two alone.
2 guys who are class personified. First-class guys.
Well, the tutelage that you get from those guys, you can't pay for that.
On the return, slipping free goes Moore. Kyron Moore, a foot race to the 30. He's not going to get caught this time. Touchdown, no flags, 85 yards.
I tell you what, man, this team has a never quit personality about them. How impressive has this ball club been this afternoon? Watch Kyron Moore. He gets possession of the football, and he fakes, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. Then he gets to the outside. And a good job by his teammate running down the field with him, making sure no one is able to run him down from behind. Darrell Rollins Davis, number 14, did a good job of tailing him to make sure a defender wouldn't be able to get to him and trip him up.
Extra point good, but there is a flag, so we'll wait and see.
Offside. Defense, number 20. Penalties declined. Try is good.
Well, Will Healy was excited to take his team to Disney World. One of the first spots they hit was the Magic Kingdom on Thursday, and this first half kind of has a Disney feel type of movie to it. We've seen a kickoff return for 6. We've seen a touchdown for AustinPeay on 2 fumbles that was recovered by a big lineman. We've seen a tip pass caught by Trey Pruitt in the end zone. It has some Disney magic in this first half.
AustinPeay is going to accept the penalty for offsides. Half the distance to the goal, retry.
Now they're going to try for 2 here, so they'll take the point off the board and go for 2.
Well, what they want to do is get this back down. And you see Healy, you see the energy, and I think that's a reflection of his ball club, the energy that he brings to the table. But for AustinPeay, they want to get it back down to 10 so they can be a field goal and a touchdown, an extra point away. So when you get the opportunity to move the ball a little bit closer to the goal line to attempt a 2-point conversion, you have to take advantage of it.
They go pistol with Tanner. They'll switch the 2 tight ends, and for the first time, Oatsbold's going to duck in under center. Unbalanced left for this 2-point conversion. They run to the boundary side, trouble with the pitch, and then trouble with Burkett. And the 2-pointer is stuffed.
And I don't like that play because you allow speed to take over. We know that UCF is a much faster team than AustinPeay. They tried to do a little bit of pre-snap motion to get their defense's attention, but when you pitch the ball out horizontally, you don't allow yourself to get vertical. And with this speed on this defense, you've got to be north and south.
Will Healy served 7 years as an assistant coach at Chattanooga. He helped Russ Huesman restore pride and glory back to that former FCS power. In fact, he went from his playing days at Richmond. Remember, he won a national championship with the Spiders in 2008 at the FCS level as a quarterback, just like Frost won a national championship with Nebraska. So you talk about the similarities and both these young, promising coaches in year 2 with these programs on the rise up. Tremendous recruiting classes, some of the top recruiting classes in the country when you compare it to their respective levels, and we mean FCS, FBS in this case. Well, both are fun to be around.
Well, what it does is when you've got young coaches, they bring about a different type of energy to a program, the enthusiasm that you see from both sides of the ball from both teams. I think that is what has made these teams be as successful as they are.
Kick is away from Hughes as it goes into the end zone, and they will avoid the penalty. So a perfect kick by AustinPeay, and UCF will take over at the 25-yard line with 2 timeouts and plenty of time for this high-powered attack.
One of the most telling aspects of this ball game is AustinPeay has 134 pass yards, UCF 136. AustinPeay has 78 rush yards, UCF 69. Total yards, AustinPeay is winning that battle 212 to 205. AustinPeay has 11 first downs, UCF 12 first downs. And they've run just about the same amount of plays. AustinPeay 31, UCF 32. So it's been a pretty even ball game so far.
Each team with a special teams touchdown. The difference, UCF has that defensive score by Griffin. Milton with time. He will throw it to his receiver out of the backfield, McGowan, who has a couple of rushing touchdowns. He gets out of bounds and stops the clock.
And right now, UCF has to be very careful. You don't want to give up a turnover trying to get a score before the half.
2nd down and 5. It will be Milton on a keeper, and he fooled everybody. Milton dives ahead, jumped on by Nate Howard, but not before he moves the chains and a first down.
And Milton needs to be careful the way he carries the football. He had the ball out on that play. He needs to tuck it high and tight.
Milton has them lined up, ready to go. AustinPeay rushes 4. They get to him, and there's the sack. Howard, the Missouri transfer, gets to Milton, a loss of a yard.
And that was a coverage sack. A good job by the defensive backfield to cover up all the receivers.
Timeout, UCF. It's their 2nd timeout of the half.
Milton,
30-second timeout.
Milton had nowhere to go with the football. A good job of just taking what he could get and getting down. You don't want to throw it into coverage and give the ball back to an opportunistic AustinPeay defense.
Nate Howard, the junior defensive end, with that last sack was a big addition for Will Healy. He joined the program the second week of the regular season. His first game was their win against Morehead State, which snapped that long losing skid. Ran into some trouble with Missouri, but he has found a new home with AustinPeay. Don't forget, coming up tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC or ESPN2, it's Georgia Tech, the Rambling Wreck, getting set to take on number 7 Clemson. And then in the Big 12, Texas Tech squaring off against 10th-ranked Oklahoma. Check your local listings for the game in your area or watch them both by using the ESPN app. Flags fly on 2nd and 11.
Offside. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Jason Williams, who has had a quiet first half, tough navigating against the talented tackles and Evans and Miller, a little bit too anxious. Penalty takes it to the 42-yard line, 2nd down and 6. UCF with 1 timeout. Snelson cuts in motion, play fake to McGowan, and a little lateral pass back to McGowan, and he will be escorted out of bounds. Top priority for Scott Frost and the Knights, convert this 3rd down. You don't want to give the football back to AustinPeay. 3rd down and 2 from the 46. Milton with all sorts of time, takes a shot down the seam. He was looking for Snelson, well covered. Malik Davis on the underneath side with the safety help. And a 4th down coming up for the Knights.
And I don't like that play. I think you try and get the 1st down, then you go over the top. You've got 2 timeouts. You get the 1st down, get you a new set of downs, and you try and go over the top. Now, because they did not convert on that 3rd down, you've got to give the ball back to AustinPeay. And special teams has been an issue throughout this afternoon.
Kyron Moore awaiting the kick back at his 15-yard line. First time Mac Loudermilk's services have been needed tonight. The junior out of Valdosta, Georgia. Beautiful kick. High spiraling kick. Fair catch signaled for at the 12. It's a 46-yard punt, and AustinPeay will have it deep in their own end. And Forrest Conley, how aggressive do you play it if you're Will Healy in the 1 timeout?
For Coach Healy, all afternoon it's been why not? Why not go for it? Why not go for an onside kick? Why not come in with the idea we're going to win this football game? So I say, with 1:03 left, why not try and go for another score before the half? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain in this ball game if you're AustinPeay.
Remember, they hit a tunnel screen for 74 yards around this same neighborhood earlier in the game. Oatsfold on an RPO is going to take the R portion of it. He'll dive up to the 20. Looked like he was going to let it go, but then decided better.
And I thought Oatsfold could have got more yards on that play. He did the smart thing that you want your quarterback to do, but with not a lot of time left on the clock, you've got to get every yard that you can on every play.
Again, the RPO, and he floats, and it's intercepted. An ill-advised pass. Titus Davis, the pick, looking for that 2nd defensive score. A flag thrown. Davis marked shy of the goal line.
Now, how horrible would this be if the penalty is on the defense? Is it holding on the outside on the defense? This is a critical call right here. Those are the dangers when you're trying to get scores. And it's not a lot of time left on the clock. And a good job by Titus Davis to get up in the air and get that hand up and snatch the ball out. Now, if this is not a penalty on UCF, okay, the ball will be down probably on the 1.5 yard line.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 69. The ruling on the field is an interception by the defense, fumbled through the end zone for a touchback. First down, AustinPeay.
I want to take another look at that because I don't know if his left knee was down before the ball came out. Let's take another look. Now right here, Titus Davis does a good job of snatching it out the air. Now you see him running down the field.
After the play, unsportsmanlike, defense number 20. It's a 15-yard penalty and his first unsportsmanlike of the game. The previous play is under review.
And I think this call will be overturned. I think it would have been 1st and goal inside the 1 yard line because his knee is down. It looks like before the ball comes out. The ball comes out as he's hitting the ground, but his knee is already out of bounds. Now, Brandon Moore just picked up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, so it goes from 1st and goal inside the 1 yard line to 1st and goal at the 16.5 yard line. A big mistake by Brandon Moore. Now, I do think UCF still can get a touchdown. They've got 2 timeouts left. They'll be inside the red zone, but you'd rather be on the 1.5 yard line than the 16.5 yard line.
Youthful mistake by Brandon Moore, who came up clutch last week, had a big play late in that game to seal the deal against Navy. He's been a tremendous freshman in that back end. See the dialogue with Moore on the AustinPeay sideline. Moore just kept talking.
I tell you what, he's in the field to play. The AustinPeay team is in the field. Football is an intense game. Guys are talking and playing with intensity. Now, I don't know exactly what he said, but I don't like the call.
After review, the runner was down at the 2 yard line. The foul for the IDP is declined. The foul for the unsportsmanlike on UCF number 20 will be enforced. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 17-yard line, first down.
So it's actually 1st and 10 as opposed to 1st and goal, but you still go from the 2 yard line to the 17-yard line.
Here's the overturn, and you see Davis with that left knee clearly out of bounds before the ball popped free as we originally thought.
And once again, a good job by the officials going back and making sure it was the right call.
Well, Forrest, the why not quickly became should not there.
Or why. Why? That's what not why not, but why did we try that?
First down, pressure off the edge, the throw toward the end zone. Did Smith hang on? He did. He's shy of the end zone. Pretty tight coverage there. Great concentration by the veteran of the receiving corps. 1st and goal, UCF.
And I think he's going to get a roughing the passer.
Holding. Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And I thought they got away with one on that play, but once again, that's why you don't want to get that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, because when you're outside, you're forced to throw the football. You see the left tackle right there. He grabs the defensive player, but see right there, I thought that could have been a low hit on the quarterback as well and be offsetting penalties. AustinPeay got away with one on that play.
5 penalties, 51 yards. Milton looking to take a shot, floats back of the end zone, double coverage. Snelson ends up with it, but was he in bounds? No. They say out of bounds as he took that ball, went up and robbed it from 2 AustinPeay defenders.
Watch the right foot. Did the right foot get down? He's got possession. That's a touchdown. That right foot got down. He held control of the football. It did not move when he hit the ground. A great play. That is an awesome play between two defenders. Watch that right foot right there. And the ball doesn't move. He finishes the process of the catch. I think when the officials look at that, that'll be a touchdown for Snelson. And you talk about a highlight catch in a turn of events in a ball game. What a play by Snelson and a great throw by Milton. He had bracket coverage on that play, and he's able to get up between two defenders, concentrate on making the reception and getting that right foot down. And you see Milton like so close. But I think you got it, Milton. That was a great play and a great pitch and catch.
After review, the receiver maintained control, got a foot down inbounds. Result of the play is a touchdown.
And that, Sean, may be the turning point of this ball game.
What a flurry of events in the final 30 seconds of this first half. Will Healy watched his young freshman quarterback make a freshman mistake late in this first half. And UCF, despite the penalties, makes them pay. Kick up, it's through for Matthew Wright. And the Knights have put up 45 first half points against a team, quite frankly, that has gotten under their skin in this first half. And AustinPeay, an emotionally charged 30 minutes of football, but the Knights, with the two takeaways, up by 19.
And you see Coach Healy talking to his safety, Wantarius Bryant, and I think he's trying to coach him up. And that's the sign of a good coach. Don't fuss at your players because they didn't make the play. Use it as a teaching opportunity to get better. That's what it's all about as a coach. Getting your guys and getting the most out of them and getting them to be as good as they can possibly be and teaching them on every play. I love what I see from Coach Healy.
A young man who never lost in high school. He was an all-state basketball guard, team that won a state title. He was part of a powerhouse football program at Brentwood Academy. A young man joining a program that hadn't won a game in 2012. The teaching moments here on a Saturday night in Orlando. Bouncing squib kick picked up by one of the upbacks, AustinPeay, with a timeout and 11 seconds to go, and how this game has changed in a matter of moments.
And I think UCF learned their lesson about kicking the ball deep to this ball club. I think for UCF and Coach Frost, they just want to get to halftime, go in, make some adjustments, because I think this is a tougher outing than they expected it to be. And for AustinPeay, they can go into the locker room with their heads held high because they are competing.
The Govs will take a knee, and we march to halftime here in Orlando. Mackenzie Milton, 17 of 19 for 168 yards and a touchdown. He hits 9 different wide receivers, and the late scoring strike to the talented freshman Snelson gives the Knights some momentum here at the intermission. Two young coaches heading into the locker room here tonight, and non-conference game, a game that was not on the original schedule, but due to Hurricane Irma, UCF lost their game with Georgia Tech. They wanted to get the full 12 games in. Their athletic department reached out to AustinPeay about a month ago. The Govs accepted that role. And what a first half. Scott Frost joins us here at the break. And Coach, what a bizarre first half. Take us through your emotions after 30 minutes of football right now.
We got to play better. That's not up to our standard. It doesn't matter who we're playing against. We got to play cleaner. We didn't tackle well on defense. We were making a lot of mistakes. We got to play a lot better in the second half.
Coach, do you think the physicality of last week's ball game against Navy has had an effect on your defense this game?
No, I don't think so at all. I think we talked to them all week about making sure that every opponent gets our best, and I don't think we came out playing like we can play, and that's our fault.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Scott Frost and the UCF Knights on top. It's been a stubborn foe tonight from AustinPeay. Taj McGowan, a couple of early rushing touchdowns. Knights lead at the break, 45-26. And don't forget to go to ESPN.com or the SportsCenter Facebook page on Tuesday to give your Capital One fan vote. Halftime here in Orlando, UCF in a wild one, 71 points put on the board. They lead it over AustinPeay, 45-26. Sean Kinney alongside Forrest Conley. Whew, what a first half of football. I mean, have you caught your breath?
I can't keep up with it. Just when you think you're going to catch a break, somebody makes a big play. It has been amazing, this football game so far.
It has been special teams. We've seen the UCF defense get in the act, but the special teams, a couple of game changers. Mike Hughes, first up, this 90-yard return gave the Knights some early momentum.
Well, you see, Mike Hughes never broke stride on this play. He saw a lane and he took it.
And then the big play element from the defense. The hit by Jasinski, scooped up by Griffin. And the defensive touchdown for UCF, but back came AustinPeay and their playmaker, Kyron Moore.
Kyron Moore, 91 yards. You see him get in the open field. Nobody's going to catch him. This team has been very opportunistic this afternoon.
This was a dagger for the Governors late in the first half. Dredrick Snelson goes up, takes the football on the strike from Milton. Milton goes 17 of 19 in that first half, and UCF with the lead. Will Healy joining us, and Coach, I'll tell you what, a spirited first half. Turnovers right now, the difference in this game.
Yeah, you know, you can't shoot yourself in the foot against a really good football team. UCF's really good. They're dynamic on offense. The quarterback's playing great. I think we've been in situations to make some plays. We can't have any fear. We got to go make some plays on the ball in the air. That last play they had at the end of the first half was a huge play, but that's what great teams do. So we got to respond, put a great drive together to start the second half, and go compete. Our guys are playing really hard and having a ton of fun playing. I'm very proud of them. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot against a great football team.
Coach, good luck. Have some more fun in the second half.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Second half action coming up. It will be Healy's offense to get the football when we return to Orlando.
Larry, you got to get those burgers off the grill.
Doug Flutie? Who threw the Hail Larry?
You mean a Hail Mary?
Tomato potato, man.
Those are two different words.
Let's go, Dr. Pepper Hip. Let's go.
Well, let's take a look at today's campus moment, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. You're watching the American Athletic Conference on ESPN. Welcome back to Orlando. Spectrum Stadium, a wild first half. UCF on top of AustinPeay, 45-26. And we mentioned the word wild. That's how the American can be described this year. Look at Houston. They go in to Tampa and knock off previously unbeaten USF 28-24.
And to me, this hurts UCF's chances of possibly being one of the first or the first Group 5 to break into the college football playoffs, because it loses a lot of luster, that last game of the season against USF, with this loss.
So there will be a new leader in the East Division of the American Athletic, at least a leader all by themselves, with UCF entering this week. Those two teams unbeaten in conference play. This obviously a non-conference tilt for the Knights.
Return. Illegal block in the back. Return team, number 20. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Forrest, you look ahead to the second half. Let's start with UCF and this defense. You could tell when our interview with Scott Frost, he was really frustrated with his team's tackling in that first half.
Well, very poor tackling. They tried to hit guys thinking they were just going to knock them down or knock them out of bounds. A lot of broken tackles. I counted at least 15 broken tackles in the first half. They've got to do a better job. They've got to knock it out, this AustinPeay Ball Club, because if they don't, these kids are going to keep coming. You got to knock it out of them.
Making his second start, Oates Ball was 6 of 10 in that first half as they give it to Ahmad Tanner, and he does not pick up much. 6 of 10 for the true freshman, 134 yards. Remember, 74 of those yards came on the tunnel screen late in the first quarter, a touchdown, and the throw he would love to have back late in the first half, the interception to Titus Davis. Young man that this program will revolve around over the next 3 seasons. 2nd down and 8 from the 9. Moore goes in motion, and he will catch the ball on a little swing pass. Jasinski had him shadowed the entire way. Good discipline there by the inside linebacker. Picked up where he left off last week, really all season, a tackling machine.
And Oates Ball is going to be careful with the football. Remember his last drive in the first half, he threw an interception. So in the back of his mind, he's thinking about that play.
The anticipate pressure from the Knights here. 3rd and 5.
And watch number 18, Shaquem Griffin on the outside.
They have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, and here they come. Quick slant, and it's caught by Montgomery. His first catch of the game, and this will be real close. Looks like about a yard shy of the first down.
And because of pressure, Oates Ball gets rid of the ball prematurely. You have to allow your receiver to get to the sticks before you get rid of the football. I like the quick pass game, but allow your receiver to get to the sticks first before you release the football.
Now, we really haven't seen Oates Ball take a shot downfield in this football game.
He just hasn't had the time.
Hughes awaiting the punt. They kick it away from the dangerous return man, and it goes out of bounds, and UCF will get the football in great shape as they start shop at the 42 of AustinPeay. It's a 26-yard punt by Devin Stewart. And here comes an offense that came into this game averaging a nation's best 47 points. They have 45 on the board through 30 minutes of football. Their defense adding to that total. They pick up 6 on the special teams return, the kickoff score by Hughes, but a solid first half for Mackenzie Milton. 17 of 19. He hit his first 13 passes in this game. The late touchdown to Snelson. Start with Franks as a tight end to the right on first down, and it will be Franks who makes the catch, picks up a nice kick out block up ahead to the 30, and Franks powering his way to the 24, 18 yards on the first down strike.
And what I like about the way Milton passes the football, he gets the ball to his receivers, to his backs, to his tight ends in motion, so they don't have to stop to catch the football. They catch the ball in motion.
They go tight with a bunch set. Milton throws, and it's Franks again making the catch. Jordan Franks up near first down yardage, a pickup of 11.
And when I say in motion, in their stride, the ball is right there so they can keep going north and south. That is a good job by Milton. You talked about it earlier, Sean. 2nd in the country in passing efficiency, 196.3. I think what else is most impressive, he's 3rd in the country in yards per completion at 16.4. So he gets the ball vertical down the field.
First down and 10. They will stretch it to Richardson, giving some ground. Corey Brown reached out, and he will get the TFL. The junior college transfer from Northwest Mississippi Community College disrupting the play.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a grown man play right there by Corey Brown. He splits the double team, grabs the back, and pulls him down by the jersey.
It's a big loss of 7 back to the 20-yard line.
And that was the big back, Richardson, at 250 pounds.
Davis and Smith stack. on this second down play. Milton under pressure, being chased by Williams, and it's Franks, his safety valve, making the catch. Good heat that time by the star for AustinPeay, Jason Williams.
And I love the way Milton avoids pressure. You see number 90 Williams come off the edge, and Milton steps, avoids the pressure, waits for his receiver to break open and sidearms it to get positive yards.
Keep an eye on Snelson. He's in the middle of the three-receiver set to the right. Smith on man coverage to the top. That's where they're going. They loft it to Smith, who goes up. The elevation and the touchdown. Traquan Smith.
And you see Smith high point the football. Milton does a good job of putting it where only he can make a play on it. The defensive back never turned around to locate the football. Montarius Bryant has to turn around and try and locate the football. He never did. He was never able to make a play on it.
UCF a strong start in this second half. They force a 3-and-out, and they get it to a familiar target. Traquan Smith continues to work his way up in the UCF record books. His 18th career touchdown. UCF with their largest lead. .10:57 to go here in the third quarter. One of the main touchdown targets the past few seasons here in Orlando, Traquan Smith, his 18th career touchdown in just his 32nd game. He's top 10 in program history in that category. Fourth in the NCAA with his 9th receiving touchdown of the year, and UCF doubling up AustinPeay now early on in this third quarter. And you go back to that touchdown strike to Traquan Smith.
And that was actually James Tobin, the true freshman, number 28, on Smith. He never turned around to locate the football, and he'll get better as he plays more on this level. He did a good job of trying to poke the football out, but Smith did a great job of squeezing the football and getting that foot down before Tobin was able to push him out of bounds.
Smith has become the veteran of this very young receiving core. You have a sophomore Stelson, and then this talented 2017 recruiting class with Emmanuel Logan Green, Gabe Davis, Marlon Williams, Otis Anderson, who's out tonight with an injury. There is a lot of youth in the receiving core, and they have all relied on that man right there for leadership. He has been a consistent, steady playmaker ever since he stepped foot on this campus. Look at the cut back by Tanner. First down yardage, spins out of the Jasinski tackle, and that has been the individual effort from these running backs that we have seen from the opening whistle tonight.
I absolutely love these young men running the football. They have the most no-quit attitude I've seen from ball carriers in a very long time. Whether it's Williams, whether it's Tanner, whether it's Nation, these young men are running with aggression.
Yeah, we haven't seen Kentel Williams since he left on that tremendous run back in the first quarter. Hopefully he'll be all right moving forward. It's been a steady dose of Tanner and Nation, and now we get Prince Mamadou getting the call.
And what's interesting, you talk about it, Sean, we haven't seen Williams, but there's been no decline in the rushing attack by this AustinPeay offense. And it all starts with that offensive line firing off the football.
See Williams with the helmet off. Looks like his night is done, and that is a key guy in a loaded backfield. We saw his playmaking ability in the short minutes he was on the field tonight. Oatsball is going to take a shot, a rare shot down the center, and he threads the needle. Gurel Sumare makes the catch and a first down for AustinPeay.
And a great job by Oatsball, knowing his receiver was coming across on the deep crossing route. He does a good job of squeezing it in. You had linebackers underneath. He put the football the only place he could where his man would be the only person to be able to make a play on.
Sumare with the second catch of the game, entering tonight the third leading receiver on this Governor squad. They don't throw the football a lot. Two tight ends, both stacked to the left, both pull, and trailing down the play is the defensive linebacker sniffing it out. Beautifully done by Antoine Collier, who's in there for Kyle Gibson, who was hit with targeting in the first half.
And Collier is a long player at safety, 6'3", 185 pounds. You see him use his length to get around the edge and get to the ball carrier before he's able to break through the line of scrimmage.
In case you're just joining us, Gibson was hit with targeting in the second quarter, so he has been disqualified. A true freshman on the back end of this UCF defense. 2nd down and 11. Oatsball will keep it, and again slides before he could feel the impact from Jasinski. Will Healy, a football family. His father, Rob, was a star at Georgia Tech. Will himself was a Mr. Tennessee football finalist playing for Chattanooga and Boyd Buchanan High School. Threw for over 7,700 yards. He learned the sport at a very young age. Tough environment here in Orlando tonight. 3rd and 10. Here comes a blitz. They pick it up. Oatsball floats, and it's nearly intercepted and then caught. Touchdown, Moore. The 2nd deflection for 6 tonight by AustinPeay.
The best Hollywood screenwriter couldn't script what we've seen this afternoon from this AustinPeay ball club and their ability to get the score. You've got the safety tracking the football right here. He's got to play on the football, but he doesn't squeeze it. Antoine Collier, number 3, you've got to squeeze that football. But a great job by Kyron Moore continuing to concentrate and get possession and get the touchdown.
There is no quit with AustinPeay. 6 plays, 75 yards. Kyron Moore, the senior, sticking with it. Collier unable to take away the pick. AustinPeay strikes again. The end of October, Tuesday, Halloween night, and we've got nothing but treats for you on ESPN. We'll have the exclusive reveal of the college football playoff top 25 rankings at 7 p.m. Eastern. Reese and the guys will break them down top to bottom, have coaches' reactions, as well as a live interview with committee chairman Kirby Hocutt. It's all available streaming on the ESPN app. Major shakeup here this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ohio State beats Penn State 39-38. What a great ball game that was. The biggest upset of the day to me, though, is this Iowa State ball club beating TCU. People thought it was a fluke when they went into Oklahoma and beat them. Now they beat number 4 TCU. Let's see how far they jump from a number 25 ranking.
Take a look at the updated top 10 rankings and what we have seen so far and what's turned out to be a wild Saturday. Bama sitting quietly atop the perch. Penn State loses at Ohio State by a point. Georgia dismantles Florida. As Forrest mentioned, Iowa State. The Cyclones beat Oklahoma in Norman today, in Ames at Jack Trice Stadium. They knock off the Horned Frogs. Wisconsin holds serve with Illinois. So how's this shake down, Forrest, with what we've seen today?
I'll tell you what, I think you've got Alabama right at number 1. Georgia moves to number 2. Wisconsin number 3. Number 4 is the most interesting spot for me right now, because you've got some undefeated teams, but you've got some one-loss teams that have big wins. I think Ohio State jumps up to number 4 with this big win against Penn State. So
they leapfrog a couple of unbeatens.
I think they do, because this is a huge win for them.
That fun time of the year. 2nd down, the sidearm swing, little flare. Look at the nifty moves by Dredrick Snelson, who made the incredible catch toward the tail end of the first half in the closing seconds for that last score for UCF right before the break. This kid's a playmaker. 4-star ESPN recruit. Flanagan High School in Miami. Play fake, they set up the tight end screen. Akins gets a block, Akins on his feet, and then is hit at the 43-yard line. Bryant, the safety, able to corral him along with pace.
And number 72, the center, gets out. He does a good job with the fake of the pass block, gets out. But you got to hit somebody, 72. You can't go out and get an Olay. Find some work. Hit somebody. You're too big not to make a play out there. But a good job getting in the open field. Just hit somebody when you get there.
Injury timeout. AustinPeay, one of their defenders down. We'll be back to Orlando right after this. 6:41 to go here in the third quarter. UCF, the 18th ranked Knights, out in front of AustinPeay in a wild one, 52-33. DeKevis Perry, the senior from Nashville, the injured Governor, he was able to walk off on his own power, so hopefully he'll be able to get back in there later on. Milton, in the meanwhile, looking at second down and short, 2nd and 2 from the Governor 42-yard line. 3 receivers set, and Milton's going to throw. Fires off his back foot. Downfield, Snelson catches it for the touchdown. Number 2 tonight for Dredrick Snelson. The touch by Milton. And this offense just keeps going UCF fast.
And watch number 1, the free safety, Malik Davis. He never turns around to locate the football. He is just running. He allows Snelson to run right by him. You've got to turn around and locate the football. If he turns around, he's in position to make a play, but he never turned around.
What a night for Milton. 2 more touchdown, check that, 3 touchdown passes through the air. He's added another on the ground. And the concentration of Dredrick Snelson, because Davis was right there with him every step of the way for us.
Well, you see the speed right there, and you have to stay with the receivers. You've got to turn around. You've got to locate the football. And you see Milton. He's reacting. He threw the ball. He threw a rope down the field. And that starts with the offensive line doing a good job of protecting him and allowing him to sit in the pocket and go where he wants to with the football.
These are video game type numbers put up tonight by Milton. 24 of 26, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns. And you know what's impressive about this offense for UCF is their arsenal of weapons. We really have hardly mentioned Adrian Killens tonight, their big-time playmaker or running back. They have so many different ways they can beat you.
Well, they've got speed at every position. And this team will go as far as their offensive and defensive lines take them. The offensive line allows for the playmakers on offense to make plays, and the defensive line allows for the lack of maturity that they have in their defensive backfield when they're able to get pressure on the quarterbacks that they face.
On the return, Kyron Moore, and he's already taken 1 back tonight. A strong return out near midfield. Mackenzie Milton traveled nearly 5,000 miles as an 18-year-old last year from Hawaii to this UCF campus. It was a year of up and downs. He was cheered, he was booed, a typical freshman campaign. He was thrust into the fire when Justin Holman, the starter, went down with an injury, and at times he looked great, and at times he looked like a freshman. And Scott Frost told us he likes that about this young man, laid back, but he took the negative and turned it into a positive real quickly.
Well, you know, fans aren't patient. They want it now. And, you know, you have to be patient when you've got a young quarterback, a new quarterback, an 18-year-old playing quarterback. You've got to be patient and allow them to learn the game and get used to the speed of the game. The speed of the game changes when you go from high school to major college football.
One thing Frost has been able to do is connect that pipeline to wherever he's coached, in particular when he was at Oregon. He had success finding some players from Hawaii and certainly appears to be on that path with Milton.
And I think that is what makes him such a hot candidate for a lot of the openings that people are talking about, because wherever he is, he can recruit from all over the country.
Milton was one of 2 Hawaiian quarterbacks to start week 1 in college football back in opening week. Won a state championship at Milani High. Osvald has to settle for Trey Nation, and Nation cannot get that motor started. He's hit immediately on the play by Jemias Pittman, setting up a 3rd and long.
And Sean Burgess-Becker had an opportunity to make a tackle in the backfield, but he missed it. And these are some of the plays that Coach Frost talked to us going into halftime. He didn't like all the missed tackles he was seeing on defense.
AustinPeay has been pretty efficient on third downs in this game, 5 of 9. UCF drops 8 into coverage. Oswald steps up in the pocket and he throws a strike. Montgomery the catch. He beat Hughes. They needed 13. It's a pickup of 14 and a first down.
And a good job by Montgomery recognizing the defense that UCF was playing and putting himself in a position for Oswald to get the ball down to him. They've done a really good job, AustinPeay has, on third down converting and extending drives.
Freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee, has a certain composure about him, doesn't he? We've seen him make a couple of mistakes, but not rattled under fire. First down, they will give it to Nation, looking for that cutback lane. And he does not find one. Pursuit defense, Eric Mitchell, the backup outside linebacker, the first one to greet him.
And that was a good job by the defensive line, closing the gaps at the point of attack, not allowing the back to find the seam to get up the field.
Josh Odeji, senior defensive end, as they go 3 deep up front. Lots of depth on second down. Nation trying to run through some arm tackles, cannot shake free of Shaquan Burkett.
There you go.
Noah Vedral, the freshman from Wahoo, Nebraska, getting loose. We could see him as we wind this third quarter down. UCF clearly in control as they've been able to dispatch a stubborn bunch from AustinPeay tonight. Another third and long for the freshman Oatsville. Gets rid of it quickly, and a breakdown in communication as Goulbourne, like he was on a hitch, and Oatsville was anticipating maybe a slant. Hughes with the coverage. 4 down territory. AustinPeay will keep the offense on the field. Both teams have been perfect on fourth downs tonight. Each squad 2 for 2. This crowd at Spectrum making some noise. Turned out to be a beautiful Saturday night here in the Big O. The rain has held off. 4th and 9. And whistles before the snap. I don't think they got the snap off. Timeout.
AustinPeay. It's their first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
So they use the timeout to prevent the delay of game. His night might be done. Mackenzie Milton, 3 more touchdown passes. 19 touchdowns this year to only 3 interceptions. And this is a quarterback position that UCF wasn't sure who was going to earn the opening night nod. That was a tight competition. Milton wasn't announced until late in the camp. But boy, has he been sensational in his sophomore campaign. The ESPN app is a fan's best friend. Stream every ESPN and ABC college football game live at home or on the go. You'll get access to scores, news, and highlights all season long. Download the ESPN app to start streaming now.
And it should not be overlooked that this AustinPeay team has scored more points on UCF than anybody else has this season.
4th and 9, pressure off the edge, and Mitchell nearly got to him. Oatsville floats down the seam, and it's incomplete. A flag thrown back where Oatsville let her fly.
Personal foul. Face mask. Offense, number 78. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a turnover and downs.
Jalen Fly Sadler, the backup right tackle. And UCF forces the turnover on downs.
And you see the right tackle, he got beat off the line of scrimmage. He took a false step up, and he did whatever he could to try and slow down the pass rush. You've got to take your initial step back. When you take that false step up, you allow the defender to have 2 steps on you. And when he did that, he was beat Eric Mitchell, a linebacker. You cannot make that mistake because he's going to always be a better athlete than the offensive tackle.
As expected, new quarterback in for UCF. It's Noah Vedral, who has played in 5 of 6 games this year. The only exception was Cincinnati, and he will keep it. And this is what he brings to the offense. Mackenzie Milton is a very good runner, don't get me wrong, but Vedral, not so much the arsenal of passes in his back pocket, but he can beat you with his legs and feet.
And this is a good opportunity for the true freshman to get a lot of playing time. You can't simulate game speed.
Offside. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. Result of the play, first down.
You have that second string offensive line in. Sprinkle at tackle, Palmer at center, Samuel Jackson, one of 3 offensive linemen in the 2017 recruiting class. He's at right guard. Getting some reserves in late in this third quarter. On the read play, Vedral will keep it. First down yardage up ahead. He's tripped up by Kevis Cummings, but not before the freshman from Wahoo moves the chains for the Knights. Inside 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Cordarian Richardson setting up on the left side. Third straight keep by Vedral, and he'll dive to the 35 where he is snowed under. Mackenzie Milton will play the role of the spectator. You see Daryl Mack, right next to him. Mack, a guy they're hoping to redshirt this season. Milton, 275 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. He added a short run for a score. Really never saw his running game take off tonight. Did not need it. Short passing game was there all night long. Richardson looking for a cutback.
And out to 29, Cordarian Richardson.
A wild day in college football, and the wildness found its way into the American Athletic Conference. Houston stuns USF in Tampa. Both UCF and USF entering this weekend, tied atop the East, both unblemished, but that has changed for the Bulls.
And I think it hurts both ball clubs. For USF, you wanted to try and go undefeated and be in the conversation at the end of the season. But for UCF, going undefeated is still an option, but you lose luster in that game. You could have possibly been beating a top 10 team if they were to go into that last ball game on Black Friday, and have beaten that USF team. So that hurts both ball clubs.
Take a look at the updated standings with the Houston win. USF now sitting 4-1. UCF remains perfect at 4-0. They jump back into the conference fray next week with a very good SMU team. Noah Vedral looking at 4th down and 7. 20 seconds to go in this third quarter. AustinPeay rushes 4. They set up the screen. Making the catch is Kalubiali, the tight end. Kalubiali to the 10, down to the 8-yard line. The 5th-year senior on the screen by Vedral, and a 4th down conversion for the Knights. They'll be content to let this third quarter clock wind down. And the nation's highest scoring offense.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Putting on a show through 3 quarters here in Orlando tonight. Scott Frost and the Knights unleashing on AustinPeay. Traquan Smith and this receiving corps. All smiles tonight. They lead it big over AustinPeay. UCF has put up 59 tonight on their FCS opponent, 59-33. They lead it over AustinPeay. Sean Kinney alongside Forrest Conley. Welcome back to Orlando. First and goal for the Knights in this second-string offense, getting some reps. Vedral hands it off to Williams, hops a defender to the 2. Marlon Williams, true freshman from Mobile, Alabama, second and goal.
And I think you're starting to see attrition set in. Williams is able to get to the outside, get north and south, and get to the second level before he comes to a defender from AustinPeay.
I think there's a chance we could see the big barreling back Richardson get a touch here. Second and goal. The 250-pounder lined up to the left of Noah Vedral. They keep it tight in as the H-back spot for blocking. Second and goal. And it will be Richardson tumbling his way, barreling through that right side. And UCF lighting up the scoreboard here at Spectrum tonight.
Good job by that second-team offensive line to open up a hole and allow Richardson to basically walk into the end zone untouched.
The second string looking just as efficient as that first string unit. They all know how to find the end zone. The true freshman from Memphis, a big bowling ball, the 250-pounder into the end zone. UCF rolling tonight. For the third time in 7 games this year, UCF has put up over 60 points. Tonight, a season high, 66 over their FCS counterpart, AustinPeay. Doubling up the Govs, 66-33. And Noah Vedral on that last drive, orchestrating an 8-play, 62-yard march. Getting some words from Scott Frost. Those two go way back. From their days in Nebraska, Vedral's parents, his father, longtime friends with the Frost family, and he's made his way from the Midwest to Orlando. Kyron Moore just never stops running, does he? Strong return out past the 30, up to the 33-yard line. We talked about the circumstances with this game. These two teams not originally scheduled to play.
During the return, illegal block in the back, return team, number 23. 10-yard penalty, first down.
UCF had really a bizarre 2 weeks with the hurricane that rolled through this area and impacted not just the community but also the football schedule. They had a game with Georgia Tech that was eventually canceled. Their game with Memphis was postponed. They were able to get that game on a makeup date. UCF was originally scheduled to play Maine, an FCS opponent, on that Memphis weekend. They had to cut Maine out of the schedule to get that conference game in, so that left them with an 11-game window. They wanted to get a 12th. They reached out to AustinPeay, and the Govs took it to a team vote, is how they described it. It was Mamadou. Goes out near the 30-yard line, so see how the schedule is laid out despite the 2 weeks. You know, really, there was a stretch. Frost was without his team. He let the team go to be with family during the hurricane crisis. They've been able to overcome all of that and now sit 7-0.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Georgia Tech game being canceled hurt this ball club, because if they were to play that ball game and win, now they've got that one big win over a Power 5 opponent to go along with a possible undefeated season. So you take that Georgia Tech game that they lost, you also take the USF loss tonight. I think it hurts them in the long run. Now, they've got to keep playing football and only worry about what they can control, which is their upcoming schedule. But when you look at those two factors, that may hurt this ball club at the end of the day when you talk about the possibility of being the first Group 5, you know, to be voted in to the college football playoffs. Because when you look at the American Conference, there's always a team in the American Conference at the beginning of the season that people say, okay, if it's going to happen, This is the conference that it can happen in, whether it was Houston, whether it was Memphis, and now UCF.
Change of direction run. Nicely done by Beneko Harley, the true freshman from Birmingham, Alabama.
Flag on the play.
There is a flag down, and continuing our conversation.
Holding. Offense, number 78. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
And let's not forget the job that Coach O'Leary did here at UCF. You go back to that 2013 season, the Knights competing in one of the more prestigious bowls following that incredible season. So they've been down this road before, but now for the first time in the college football playoff world, this realm where it's tough for that group of 5 to get in to those top 4 spots.
Well, a lot has to happen, and a lot has happened. But I think some of the things that have happened actually hurt this ball club. You know, the aforementioned situation with USF and Georgia Tech. Yep. But once again, let's not put a damper or a dimmer on the season so far for this UCF ball club. Here's a team that's 2 years removed from not winning a ball game at all to getting a bowl bid last season, and they weren't satisfied with that. Coach Frost said he and his team weren't satisfied with people patting them on the back and saying, you had a great season, you got a bowl bid.
Harley running the wrong way, and there are Knights all over jousting at him, and it's a huge loss. He was giving ground. Gabriel Luyanda, former Garden City Junior College star, with the pursuit play for the Knight D.
Well, you see penetration initially, and when you play against a speed defense, you cannot run backwards. If they get penetration and get on top of you, just go down.
3rd and a mile for AustinPeay.
And I expect UCF to pin their ears back and come after the quarterback on this play.
Tanner goes in motion. The southpaw flings it that direction. It is a forward pass, a little bit too tall and behind a running back. There is a penalty flag in the secondary and at the line of scrimmage. It's been a busy night for our crew here in this one. Sixteenth penalty of the game upcoming. Maybe. Looks like the call will be on AustinPeay. UCF has sent out the punt return unit. Well, they're in no hurry, are they?
Both by the offense. Illegal shift. Offense, that penalty is declined. A personal foul, blocked below the waist, number 11. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
Both calls on AustinPeay, so the punter is out. Devin Stewart, his 3rd punt of this game. Line drive, returnable kick, bouncing around, scoots by the return man for UCF, then a dangerous pickup. Fortunate to hang on as he is twirled around and thrown down. 11:04 to go here in the 4th quarter. UCF doubling up on their FCS opponent.
All ESPN coverage is streaming live on the ESPN app. Download now and take ESPN everywhere.
Scott Frost in UCF out in front of AustinPeay, 66-33 as Noah Vedral goes back to work on 1st down. He swings it out to Alex Harris. They're still hitting down there. Big contact along the AustinPeay sideline. Harris, his 4th catch of the season, the redshirt freshman from Kearney, Nebraska. So Vedral and Harris, 2 guys from the Cornhusker State who have found their way to Orlando.
And Harris welcomed Malik Boynton to Orlando, Florida with that hit. You got to get down, young fella.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 7. 15-yard penalty, first down.
One freshman trying to throw a block for another, Emmanuel Logan Green. It's an early enroll player, went through the spring drills, another 4-star ESPN recruit for the Knights.
Marks it back all the way to the 16. First down.
Part of the IMG Academy, unbeaten last year. Running the boundary side, there is nowhere to go. Boy, I like Gunnar Shalato. He is a hard hitter in the center of this AustinPeay defense, the former walk-on who has been a tackling machine, always around the football. Shalato started his career at Western Kentucky before transferring in. Such a smart linebacker, understands the game, studies each and every week in his preparation as a leader, a vocal leader of this defense. 2nd and 25. Vedral hands it off to McCray. A crafty back, burst up to the 21. Tackle by Malik Davis.
This is a great opportunity for both coaching staffs to find out about their second-team players. You can't simulate game speed in practice, and you can't simulate the intensity of a game in practice. So I like what we're seeing with both second teams being able to get time on the field in the game, because you can't simulate the speed.
Vedral on 3rd down, and McCray is sandwiched. Nowhere to go. Sean Whittinghill, the second-year player, former Kentucky All-Stater, with the tackle for loss, and UCF will send out the punting unit.
You know, Coach Healy talked to us, and he said, you know, I won't know until after this ball game if this was a good decision or not. From what I see, I think it's a very good decision, because he found out a lot about his ball club this afternoon. They came in fearless. They played a very good first half. Albeit they were down at the half by double digits, they played extremely well.
Well, this will cost AustinPeay possession. This will probably be roughing the punter as Loudermilk went down.
You see Loudermilk brushing himself off.
He's a big punter. He's 235 pounds.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So the kicker has a little bit of swag wiping himself off. But you see right here, the snap is to the side. And the key to that is you hit the kicker in a vulnerable position, and they're trying to protect the kickers, and he grabs his knee initially. Then he gets up, he wipes himself off. You know, I like the little swag the kicker got going on right there. And then a nice little casual jog off the field.
Looks like he's done that a time or two. That was pretty well versed right there.
Absolutely. He's got the mountain man look going with the full beard. Hey, I love it.
So UCF and their offense back onto the field. First down for the Knights after the penalty at the 32.
I'm right behind you. Okay.
It's a 4-man front for AustinPeay. Quick throw, and it's caught near sideline, up near the 40 to the 42-yard line goes Alex Harris. Noah Vedral passed for over 2,000 yards. He rushed for an additional 700 yards his senior year at Bishop Neumann. So first-team Nebraska Class C1 player. Nebraska breaks their classes down a little bit differently than Florida. But he was a very good two-way player. In fact, a lot of people thought he might play at the next level on the defensive side of the football at a safety position, but he is nestled in quite nicely as Mackenzie Milton's backup here for the Knights. 2nd and short. Richardson the call, straight up the gut like he does so well. First down yardage.
Richardson. Short gain of
And for AustinPeay's coaching staff, they're going to look at film. They're going to watch their plays. They're going to see what players continue to play, even though they know they're going to lose this ball game. This is when you test the character of your ball club to see how they respond. You want to continue to play until the last whistle. You see Coach Healy, he's into it right now, and I like that about him and his staff. He wants to get the best out of these young men and teach them not to give up, even when you know it's out of hand and you're not going to get that W.
First down run by Richardson, a double-digit gallop as he runs for 12. Some late scraping after the play, trying to pry that football loose. You look at Will Healy, and I asked him, how did you get this program turned around so quickly? And, you know, he mentioned a couple of things. The addition of several junior college players this year, 16 in all, was a big boost. It's an injured Governor, and Healy out to look at his falling defender. But he mentioned the JUCO additions. He mentioned his recruiting success. Once he landed Jeremiah Oatsfall, it just was a domino effect. All of a sudden, the recruits lined up. This culture started believing. They got the monkey or the gorilla off the back, snapping that long losing streak, 29 straight when they beat Morehead State, and they've been rolling ever since.
Well, they went from searching for a first win to playing for a playoff bid. And that's a huge difference. I'll tell you one thing I appreciate about Coach Healy is coming out and checking on his players. Every time we've seen an AustinPeay player go down, he takes his headset off and he runs out on the field with his headset on to make sure his guys are okay. And as a player that's hurt, when your head coach comes out to check on you, that means a lot.
Resumption of play. Nice football.
When you look at what he has done with a program, because he's intermixing some guys that quite frankly don't care about the history. When you're looking at junior college transfers, they want now. The recruits want to change it now. Force inside that locker room, how do you change the culture of the existing players to get them to buy in and believe that they can get it turned around?
Well, I think it starts with the coaches that you bring in. You bring in younger coaches, Coach Frost, Coach Healy. These are young coaches. They can identify with some of these players. I think some of the older, old-school coaches can identify with the millennial players that we see now, the different offenses that we see. You don't see your typical dot the I, power I formation offenses anymore. Everything is spread out. You've got spread offenses. You've got a lot of moving parts. So I think it all starts with the coaching staffs that you bring in. They have to be able to relate to the players.
He mixed things up this spring, really found something he liked. He held the red-white spring game in early March, way sooner than a lot of colleges do across the country, and he did that for a number of reasons. He felt he needed to get his players back on the field as soon as possible after last year's disaster. Plus, he thought, as they swing it out again, it is the freshman out of Kearney, Nebraska, Alex Harris down the sideline. Harris tripped up. Touchdown saving tackle made by Ontarius Bryant, first and goal for UCF. But he held that spring game early to get guys stronger in the weight room. They had 7 consecutive weeks in the weight room without spring football since they played it in early March.
And a good job on the outside by the tight end, number 89, Anthony Roberson, with a key block to spring the receiver Harris down the field.
3 catches in this quarter for Harris. It'll be first down and 10. They still can pick up a first down. Harris tripped at the 11. This is a group from AustinPeay because of the added time in their strength conditioning as Richardson stretches it and he can't get to the corner. They saw dramatic improvements in a number of lifts in the bench. Prior to this spring, they had one guy at 310 pounds. After spring, 23 were repping that amount. 500-pound squats. Nobody on their roster last year could do it after the spring and into the summer camps. 25 can. So they saw the dramatic increase that they knew they needed to get in the strength column, and that has added into some wins. You factor in the confidence and the community rallying around this program. Already 3 times this year they've set a program attendance record, so people are buying in.
Well, if you weren't buying in prior to this ball game, you should be. because this team is going to be a tough out for any FCS opponent. And if they're able to make that run to the playoffs, watch out for this AustinPeay ball club. Because after a game like this, although they're losing big, they had so many positive plays and so much positiveness to hang their hat on coming out of this game. I think it propels them moving forward.
Keep those fortuitous bounces going their way as well, like we saw tonight. 3rd down and 5. UCF using all the play clock. Vedral looking over toward Scott Frost, who calls the plays for this night offense. Richardson will be the tailback. 2 receivers right, twin set left. And I don't think they got the snap off in time.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Classy move, as you expect from Coach Frost, to let that play clock wind down, yet keeping his guys competitive and executing on the offensive end.
Well, I don't think Coach Frost wants to score anymore. He doesn't want to rub it in. If they score, they do. I think they're going to run the football, try and run this clock out, and get out of here as healthy as they possibly can moving forward to next week's game at SMU.
On the zone read, Vedral bursts through a tiny crack, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. His 2nd touchdown of the season, and the Knights have lit up the night with 70s.
And once again, I don't think their intent was to try and score, but you can't blame Vedral. He sees a wide open lane, and he takes it, and you see his running ability. He's got speed, and he gets to top end very quickly. He's a long kid at 6'2", and you see him use his leg length to get to the end zone very quickly before the defense could react.
It's 2 long scoring drives that Vedral has been instrumental in orchestrating. Remember, this last drive aided by the roughing the punter call, which gave the Knights offense a 2nd opportunity. He was the 300-meter state champion in the hurdles, and UCF celebrating tonight in Orlando. They know what's in front of them, some big tests, but tonight it's been all smiles against AustinPeay. Season high 73 points put up tonight by UCF. They lead it over AustinPeay 73-33. 3rd all-time meeting between these two teams. They were split a win apiece, but tonight, here in 2017, this Knight team a force to be reckoned with. Bouncing kick making its way toward the sideline. It stays in bounds. Darrell Rollins-Davis, the former Red Wolf from Arkansas State, hop-skipping his way laterally across the field. A plethora of penalty flags thrown. Rollins-Davis still on his feet. 45-50. And my goodness, was he ever clocked. Collier, that's twice on special teams where he has brought the lumber, and that time Rollins-Davis never saw.
He ran a long way to get to people's elbow on that play.
You see Rollins-Davis, that's a guy that Coach Healy told us they need to get the football more to. He caught a 52-yard touchdown pass last week. He has world-class speed, a return specialist for Arkansas State. We both know the success they've had in the Sun Belt, so it's a big addition for this AustinPeay program and part of the transfers that have found their way to Clarksville.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 20. That penalty's declined. During the return, illegal block in the back, number 22. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
A lot of excitement toward the first college football playoff rankings, which come out this Tuesday night, Halloween night. So let's put an eye toward those rankings. The AP compared with the Football Power Index. Alabama won. That's a no-brainer. But then you have some changes. Penn State, Georgia, TCU, Wisconsin, Ohio State with the AP. The Buckeyes and the Power Index lived up to their billing, knocking off Penn State in that number 2 spot. They still have Clemson sitting 4th, Notre Dame. A showdown with NC State today, and then you have Washington still in that top 6. 1st and 10, deep in their own end. They will give the football off. The backup fullback, KJ Johnson. He takes it out past the 10.
And I was surprised Georgia was left out of the Football Power Index rankings because this is an SEC team that is undefeated. They've done everything that they can in their power to be there. So I want to know why they're not in the Football Power Index rankings.
Well, what we want to know is who is in your Football Power Index rankings. I mean, that's the question our entire crew has been waiting. Our producer, Eric Lilly, and I were with you at dinner last night, and you called it a slam dunk for us. Don't be humble now. Come on.
Well, I said that Miami would have some trouble with North Carolina.
You did.
I thought that was a setup game. But I've got Alabama number 1, Georgia number 2. Wisconsin jumps all the way up to number 3. Ohio State with the big win today versus Penn State is number 4, and Notre Dame at number 5. Clemson number 6, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma 7 and 8, and they'll play later in the season. Also, that TCU game for Oklahoma will be big because TCU lost today, so they're an angry bunch of individuals when they play that football game.
Harley lost the football, but it's jumped on by Elijah Brown. I have no problem. The biggest question mark is Miami down there at number 9.
Well, the reason I've got Miami at number 9, their wins have been ugly, but they've won those games. Now, they've got 2 big tests coming up. They've got Virginia Tech coming down to Miami, and they have Notre Dame coming down to Miami. So you'll have justification for Miami being in the top 10 and possibly becoming a top 5 or 4 team if they're able to get through this next 2-game stretch.
Hop skipping his way through defenders is KJ Johnson. So let's talk UCF now. Long picture, and next week they have the matchup against SMU, and that will be no easy test in Dallas. That's a high-powered offense. Trey Quinn, Cortland Sutton, 2 dynamic wide receivers. Then UConn, a trip to Philly to battle Temple, and then the big showdown with USF. How does 2017 pan out in your eyes with this night program?
I think they're undefeated going into that Black Friday matchup against USF, and I think this is one of the best games that we'll see on that Friday afternoon because USF now has the opportunity to ruin what I think will be an undefeated season for UCF and also claim that portion of the conference title, the division part. So there's a lot of football left to play. And once again, for UCF, I saw a lot of fans cheering when they saw the USF loss, but I think they don't realize that loss actually hurts them in the long run.
Scott Frost, Will Healy coming together at midfield. 2 bright young coaches. They put on a show tonight. UCF, just too much firepower. Knights prevail. They had to fight through some turbulent waters in the first half, but in the end, it's a program record 7-0 start.
Well, I'm more impressed with this AustinPeay ball club. They're a team to watch in FCS, and of course UCF. They just keep chugging along, undefeated, and I think if everything works out right, they may not be in the college football playoff, but they will be playing in the New Year's Six Bowl.
It's going to be a fun month of November. That's the story tonight. For Forrest Conley, I'm Sean Kenny saying so long from Orlando. The final score, UCF 73, AustinPeay 33. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live on the ESPN app, or to watch this game on replay as well as other games in our family of ESPN networks. Log on to the WatchESPN.com app or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Good night from Orlando.